And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got Davos Switzerland, the World Economic Forum. There's a whole lot happening there. We got Trump talking about Greenland, and maybe there's a deal reached where we get what we want and they get what they want. Emmanuel Macron wearing the Terminator lenses inside at the WEF. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Don Lemon. Listen, I'm gonna start with that. I feel like I want to start it right now. Don Lemon, I never thought Don Lemon would go so low. I know he's a leftist. I know he loves them on that side. I get it. But invading the church is the lowest of the low. Oh, ABL, he was just a journalist. Okay, well, check it out. If someone tells you that they and their group members are going to rob a bank, and then they tell you, hey, we're going to rob the bank. We want you to come with us and participate, and you can't tell nobody. But you're going to say, oh, I was just covering the news. I was just covering a news story. That's not how that works. Ignorantia juris non excusat. I'll talk about what that means a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, we got to talk about these ongoing ICE protests all over the place, especially in Minneapolis, but all over the nation. It is mostly the Starbucks white liberal revolution. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all for joining me again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. It'll help me out tremendously. Wow, there's a lot happening. We got the WEF going on out there and Davos, Switzerland. Really interesting. We got Macron looking like Terminator. I'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, BT 5000, T800, whatever his model number was. Okay. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, he has a blood vessel that bursted in his eye. Oh, okay, how did that happen? He fell again. Since when was it like all right for people to get beat up on in relationships? Like when was that ever a thing? I guess because it's a man getting beat up, it's okay. I'm seeing a bunch of TikToks and stuff like this on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot, where it's like a joke. Hey, how do women who beat men look like? And then they point into themselves. It's like, is that the newest wave in 2026? Is it okay to beat your partner up if they are a man and you're a woman? Is that the newest thing on the streets? What happens when the bull daggers do it? You got these big hefty ladies looking like 250 pounds of solid muscle, kind of, sort of. And then that guy's like Macron size and he's just getting beat up on. When was that ever the cool thing to do? But there's a lot we got to talk about. And really, I feel like this is like a church sermon right now because Don Lemon and everybody involved, listen, I know that you guys are low on the left. I know leftists are low. I know they will stoop to the lowest of the lows to get their point across. I get it. But I thought certain things were out of bounds. I mean, maybe that's just me being ignorant, but I thought that certain things were out of bounds. I never thought I would see anyone storm a church in the name of a political protest. I never thought I would see it. First of all, let's just say this. There are some churches in this country where you cannot do what they did. I'm going to say that one more time for the folks in the back if you didn't hear me. There are some churches in this country where you cannot do what they did out there in St. Paul, Minnesota, with Don Lemon and all them ruffians and hooligans and grifters and scammers and liars did out there, which was storm the church and protest and have the whole service shut down. Interviewing the pastor, interviewing the parishioners, cameras in their face, screaming and hollering, oh, you're white supremacists. Oh, you got some nice clothes. Listen, first of all, in a lot of churches, not just black churches, because that's the thing, but again, As I said on my Instagram live, shout out to you guys who were there last night. I appreciate y'all for that. But as I said on that Instagram live, I did a video of a church where there was a church shooter who came in, and it was a white church. White guy in the back, he's armed in the church, hit the guy who was like the little shooter or whatever from one side of the church to the other. I mean, it was like a video game type hit. So yeah, listen, I don't care if they black, white, Puerto Rican, and Kenny stripe. A lot of churches don't play that nonsense. You could just go in there and protest and act a fool. You're not even going to be able to get past the front security, let alone to go into the church, up and down the aisles and all up in the pews and talking to the parishioners, talking to the pastor. The pastor, listen, ain't no way. Hey, check it out. If it's Pastor ABL and I'm up there giving my sermon, I'm sweating and hooting and hollering, all the kind of stuff. All of a sudden, here comes Don Lemon with the camera, telling me some, are you the ICE director? Are you the ICE director? All in my face. Listen, you know what? At that moment, I'm going to feel threatened. So y'all know how I am. I'm a peaceful guy. I'm Zen. I'm a monk. I don't believe in violence. However, everyone has their limits. Remember the story about the Rohingya over there on the corner of, what's that, Pakistan, Burma, whatever that is? The Rohingya, the Muslim minority, keep committing terror attacks. That's why they're marginalized and refugees, because they keep committing terror attacks because they Muslim. Anyway, the monks had to come out of the mountain, bald head, no shower, no nothing, to fight these Muslims. And they normally are just in the mountain minding their business. But they had to come out of the mountain to go do that. I'm the same way. You run up on me, and I'm the pastor on the pulpit. Why, you're ice? Hey, all of this right here is going to get pushed back in time. You're going to need reconstructive surgery on your joint, because I'm going to view you as a threat. I don't know what you got going on. If you got a bomb strapped to your chest, if you got a gun in your pocket and you're going to start shooting, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the threat immediately. And again, in a lot of churches in this country, you wouldn't have got past the front with all that nonsense. Listen, you have the freedom of speech. That's correct. But freedom of speech does not mean you could do whatever you want to do. That's not what that means. All freedom of speech means in the law is the government cannot lock you up for saying unpopular things. Okay, you could say Orange Man bad all day long and not get locked up. That's what that means. You could say Orange Man bad, I hate Obama, Michelle Obama's a man. You could say all of that and not get locked up. That's your freedom of speech. Freedom of speech does not mean you get to go into a church during the service and disrupt it. That's not how that works. They were asked to leave several times and they refused. That's called trespassing. You're no longer welcome here. If I invite you to my house and then I say, okay, you know what, you got to leave now, and you don't leave, that's called trespassing. Now, there's some ways I can get you out of my house or out of the church or wherever you at. There's some ways I can do that. But not only is there trespassing there, you're also violating the FACE Act. And shout out to everybody who knows how to read. And you know what? Reading is a lost art, I see. I saw so many people on television now say that the FACE Act was only for abortion facilities. It is not. If you read the FACE Act, it says in Section 2 of the law that it applies to religious centers as well. What is a religious center? I don't know, a church, a mosque, a synagogue, anywhere like that. So yes, this law does apply to churches. And again, any other place of worship, synagogue, mosque, all the same thing. You cannot go in there and do what they did. Now, as I said in my video, there's got to be some kind of punishment here. It can't just be, oh, I didn't know no better, because Don Lemon is retarded. He doesn't really know anything. And a lot of these dudes that's kind of LGBT as well on television, they don't know anything. All they know how to do is just work for their boss. Okay, the white guy that he's with, he knows how to work for him. Okay, he knows how to go do that. When he tells him to do something, he does it. But there's no attempt at trying to learn what you're talking about. You're handed a sheet of paper and you're told to read it. That's pretty much what Don Lemon is. You go to college and you believe whatever they tell you. You hand it some paperwork and you read that and you just say whatever's on the sheet of paper. That's what Don Lemon is. So he's going to say that in court. You know what? I didn't really know any better. I just, but like I said, ignorantia juris non excusat. Now, I know I didn't pronounce that right. Ignorantia non juris. I know I didn't pronounce that right. But what does that mean? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So when you go to court and they're prosecuting you for this, the excuse of I did not know this was illegal, it matters not, because regardless whether you knew that it was illegal or you didn't, you still violated the law. And how am I going to know as a judge or anybody else if you actually knew this was illegal or if you didn't? Again, ignorantia juris non excusat. Look it up. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. So I hope Pam Bondi, Harmeet Dillon, or whoever's in charge of this operation, of this investigation, locks them up immediately. But the first ball to drop here was Minnesota. They should have locked them up that night. But of course, a lot of those who were involved with the protests are part of the system locally. Some say that Trump is waging war on Minnesota. Well, it looks like Minnesota is trying to be sovereign, trying to be their own little country. Let them be their own little country. Don't get no more federal money. How about that? How about when we turn that faucet off of all the federal monies they get, that they steal, really? They steal money and they get money. How about we say, you know what? No more access to anything at all. No more grants. No more Leering Center. No more fake medical transport. No more nothing. No more nothing. Y'all just rely on yourself. And you know what? You know what I would do? If there was like a trade to be made, like, football, basketball, and they want to trade, okay, let's trade this player for this two players in the draft pick. Here's a trade I propose. Now, I know we get a deal on Greenland, potentially. We'll talk about that later. But here's what I propose for Minnesota. Okay, we can trade Minnesota in exchange for Greenland. And it wouldn't just be that. We'll go to Minnesota plus $500 billion. Minnesota, $500 billion. 10% of our blue-haired liberals, 10%. We don't got to give the whole 90%, 10%. People got families and they want to still see their parents. Okay, cool. 10% of the blue-haired liberals, Minnesota, $500 billion in exchange for Greenland. And some of the northern islands of Canada for research and oil exploration and stuff like that. And for the Northern Passage. Sign off on it. Let's have Canada sign off. And for Canada, what are they going to get out of it? They get Minnesota. Yeah, we'll give Minnesota to Canada. And then we're going to give Greenland the $500 billion. And we'll let Canada stay sovereign. We won't invade Canada. We'll just let them be their own country still. And they can have Minnesota. I think it makes sense. Yeah, or at least Minneapolis, St. Paul, some of these little areas where these liberals are. Let them have those and let them run it and see how they like it. Hey, man, shout out to you guys in Minnesota. I know that I'm kind of like dumping on y'all a little bit, just like California, but come on. I mean, states need to do what they need to do to improve themselves. Mississippi for a long time was a laughing stock. Oh, you guys are so poor, uneducated and country, but quiet as kept. They're really raising their standards and becoming more educated than a lot of other parts of the nation. Right now, today, if you were to ask me, where would I go for public school, K through 12, California or Mississippi? Mississippi it is, because looking at the numbers and what they got going on, it looks to be a better situation over there rather than the left coast, California. California, super expensive, bad leadership, education is compromised, LGBTQ element of P. What is K through 12 anymore? It's kind of just a freak show at best. Not motivated teachers, the kids don't care, the parents don't care. Let me go over there where education is more valued and it makes more sense and it's in a more realistic environment. I pick that all day long. So yeah, Minnesota gotta go, or at least St. Paul, the leaders. And you know what? We'll give Canada, or whoever wants them, the leaders as well. We'll give you Tampon Tim Waltz. We'll give you the Transformers from Minneapolis City Council. We'll give you Keith Ellison. We'll give you whoever you want from Minneapolis and the rest of the country as far as our bad leaders. But back to Don Lemon. Don, I cannot believe you did that, bro. I cannot believe you did that. Did you grow up in church? Now, listen, when I was a kid, I was in church. I went to like a Christian preschool. I would go to church a lot for random things. When I'll be, in the summertime, West Virginia, Roanoke, I'll be in church all the time. So I respect church a lot, although I'm not into religion at this moment in my life. I respect it a lot. I respect mosque. I respect everyone's religion, everyone's faith. That's one thing I don't mess with. I don't mess with that. Politics, that's one thing. But religion, you got it. You got it. I'm not going to invade your space. That's not appropriate at all. That's not what we do in this country. Not in the least bit. But of course, when you're dealing with people who are motivated by other things, aside from the truth, aside from goodness, aside from peace, aside from love, they come in there with hatred in their heart and really with money on the mind, because a lot of these people don't live in Minnesota like Don Lemon, like the one guy with the funny beard, the meth monkey or whatever he is, okay, who lives in Washington, D.C. They come to Minneapolis, St. Paul, just to get the money, just to grift, just to further their social media, to further whatever they got going on television. That's what they're there for. Don Lemon could not cut it on CNN, so he goes to social media and does all kind of just ridiculous, stupid stuff. Now we see why he could not make it on CNN. Now we see why, because he sucks. Now, granted, CNN sucks, which is kind of like underlines my point. Brian Stelter has carved a career out over at CNN, but Don Lemon couldn't hack it. Terrible. But yeah, shout out to everybody, man. The moral of the story about churches, please don't interrupt anyone's church service. Let them have that. And in my mind, if someone interrupts a church service with any kind of malicious intent, any kind of negativity, I see them as a church shooter. I see them in that same ballpark. You in there screaming and hollering, I'm thinking you trying to shoot the place up. So again, if there was a church that I have attended many times in my life, the places I go in my life, places I've seen, places I've heard, he wouldn't have got past the front door, wouldn't have got past the entry door to the actual church itself. He wouldn't have been able to get to the lobby in the front on the steps outside where it's like 5 degrees. And it's funny how they want to start going indoors to protest because it's too cold outside, right? Hey, I bet you there was a conversation. You know what? It's a little bit too cold to be out here holding them signs, and we're still trying to get this money on. We're still trying to get this money. So let's go inside. Let's go to, I don't know, a church. That'd be cool. Because I hate Christianity. That's their mindset. Let's go to a Target and start crying with a sign as we sit on the ground. That'll teach them. And since we're all being paid, we're able to still keep getting them checks rolling in. Because the people say you got to be out there protesting. And if you're not protesting and you're not putting it on social media, you're not going to get your money. Let's go somewhere indoors because it's too cold out here and the snow and the wind and everything else. That's terrible. Shout out to Minneapolis, man. Hopefully you guys are free. Hopefully you guys become free of these people. Okay. Spencer says Jacob Fry comes to Minneapolis from over in ABL's neck of the woods. Take him back. Well, Jacob Fry came from Northern Virginia, so I don't count that as Virginia. He came from, where'd he come from? Like Arlington somewhere. Hold on. Where did he come from? Yeah, Arlington. Yeah, that's like basically Washington, D.C. That's Washington, D.C. I would not be surprised if he was groomed from a young age to be a politician. Arlington. Okay. And he's part of the team. Shout out to the Little Hats. But let me see. He says he grew up in Oakton, D.C. suburb. Okay, his parents, check this out. His parents, Christopher and Jamie, maiden name Goldstein, were professional modern ballet dancers. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. And he went to William and Mary. Very interesting. So yeah, that's not a kind of guy that I would have grown up with. A Jewish ballet dancer kid. I never have met anyone like that in my life. So yeah, shout out to him. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You guys got quite a few aliens in Minnesota who don't belong there. Jacob Fry, Tampon Tim from Nebraska, the Somalis from Somalia. Where are the actual Minnesota residents? Where are the actual Minnesotans? Where is the Bobby's World mom? Oh, don't you know? Where they at? They should be the ones in charge, not these carpetbaggers and weirdos you got up there right now. that shouldn't be what's going on. But yeah, shout out to Jacob Fry and everybody else. And speaking of Jacob Fry, his alternate universe clone, what's his name? Emmanuel Macron. I was not trying to rhyme. His alternate universe clone, Jacob Fry's it is, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, look just like him. What's going on with him? Sunglasses inside, bro? Like, come on. You might as well just let the bad eye rock. You might as well let the bad eye just be there, because the glasses are crazy. A Terminator, that ain't really it, man. Whenever you are a leader of a nation and you got to be on camera and talk, your appearance means a lot. So you got to make sure you're doing the right thing by your appearance. Like, try not getting in fights with your wife. Try not being high on drugs, Gavin Newsom. I'm not saying you are on drugs, but I'm just saying you look kind of crazy out there. You have to look presentable for the camera if you're going to be leader of a nation, because when you don't, that reflects badly on your entire country. It's like, out of all of France, that is your guy. That's the best you can do. That's the idea. Now, some are going to say the same thing about Trump. Oh, that's best you could do with Donald Trump. But really, Trump is our guy, and he's making things happen. He's effective. Is Macron effective? If he is, I can't tell. Because France, what if they contributed to the world in the past, I don't know how many years? Who cares about France? France sucks. They were a bad colonial power, and they suck as a country right now. And Europeans, quite frankly, have no leverage to really say too much of anything when it comes to what's happening with Greenland or anywhere else. They have no leverage. What are they going to do? Because if America does not take action to take more control over Greenland, but China and Russia continue their efforts to take control of Greenland and Panama Canal and Venezuela and everywhere else, if they continue to do that, then who will defend these places? What? Albania? Montenegro? Belgium? Who's going to defend these places if it ain't us? Nobody. France, look at the way Haiti is right now. The poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Look at what y'all did with them. Come on, man. France sucks. And the president looking like that, like he might have been beat by his wife, is just emblematic of their country as a whole. Now, if you're in France, I'm sorry. I apologize to you. Nothing against you specifically, but you know what I'm saying is the truth. If you could come to the USA, you'd be out of France immediately. If you could come to somewhere else, you would leave France immediately. You don't want to be in Paris where it looks like a third world country. You don't want to be there looking like Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria all in one. You don't want to be there. You want to be in the more modern country. It's the truth. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, somebody said, when Trump said America first, he meant South America. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Should we be isolationists and do nothing in the world at all, even when we're forced to do something? So let's say, for example, here comes China, Russia. They are building up Greenland, and we know for 100% certain that's going to be a big risk to us. Do we do nothing? Do we just kind of let that rock? Like, what do we do to defend against that? It's just like, it kind of reminds me. Hold on, let me just take a little bit of this water. Good old H2O. But anyway, it reminds me of the whole Renee Nicole Good situation with the officer. People are saying, oh, well, the cop didn't get run over by the car, so why did he have to shoot? So must he be up under the car? Must the actual wheel of the driver's side be on his chest before he can shoot? Is that the way it works? Because if that's the way it works, I got something to tell you. I know I got to It's like something being told Santa Claus ain't real. If you got the wheel of a 5,000-pound car on your chest, it might be a little bit too late to actually do anything about your fate at that point. It might be a little bit late. Shooting the tires like you are a superhero in the video game is not going to do anything. Shooting her is not going to help you at that point because you're under the car. The wheel's in your chest. Your ribs is snapping like twigs. So what are you really going to do? You're pretty much out of luck. You got to shoot before you get run by the car. Same thing with Greenland, Venezuela. You got to be proactive rather than reactive because being proactive will result in fewer casualties and it'll be better for everybody involved. That's just the reality of the situation. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. Traveling Diva says she literally hit him with the car. I saw the video. I'm sorry she lost her life, but you cannot use your car as a weapon. You know what? It's such a common sense thing to say, but it's like people have boycotted or abandoned common sense. It's not that common sense ain't too common. That's part of it. But also people just don't want to believe in common sense. They want to believe in whatever they want. They want to believe in just their feelings. You can show someone for 100% certain that what they're saying is incorrect. They're going to refuse to believe you. They say, you know what? I don't believe that. That's fake. That's AI. They refuse to believe it. Like our guy, what's his name? I know what I'm talking about. The former KGB agent, Yuri Bezmenov. It's demoralization. They become demoralized, and it doesn't matter how many facts you give them, how many pictures, videos. You could take them to the actual place where a certain thing happened or it's happening, and they refuse to believe their own eyes. They refuse to believe anything you tell them because they've already made up in their mind what reality is. They've been demoralized to believe a false narrative. And that is the truth. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. All right. Before we get to some videos, y'all know how I do. Shout out to the sponsors. Of course, you guys are the very first sponsor for being here and doing what you do. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We get the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and you'll be able to find articles for each long form video that I produce. And in each article, we got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Republican, Democratic, politically agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok, although TikTok sucks. All those links will be right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And if you ever think you're speaking to me on the internet or not, you're probably not. If you did not email me first at my email address, which is on the website, again, on the contact page, contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you didn't email that email address first and I didn't respond to you, it's not me you talking to. All right. It is not me. You're being scammed. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe anything in the comment section. Don't believe nothing. Okay. It's going to be a guy somewhere in India. You're going to have no shoes, flip flops at best, wife beater at 100 degrees in the office building with 10,000 more Indians. It's going to be one toilet. I'm playing. It could be one of those, or somebody over in Eastern Europe in a war zone. Okay, they're trying to get some borscht. They're trying to get enough borscht to last a couple of days, so they're going to scam you. Don't fall for it. And y'all know it could be one of my cousins or my uncle or somebody like that over in a village in Nigeria trying to get a little bit of money to get active for the weekend. Are you going to respond to the email? Are you going to respond? I have given you the email address. Respond with the money now. We don't have time to waste. I'm going to go live today. This is ABL. I'm ABL talking to you right now. Why are you accusing me of telling you a lie? I'm not a liar. I'm ABL. I'm going live on that channel right now. Welcome to ABL Live. This is me talking. If you hear that voice on the other end of the phone, don't believe him. It's not me, okay? He might even look like me. Put on a little hat or whatever. But hey, tell him to pin down to his shoes. It's gonna be bare floor and flip-flops at best. So please don't fall for any of the shenanigans in 2026. We don't have time for the games. We are trying to go to the moon, to Mars, and everywhere else. So there's that. Now let's get to a few things here. Let's get to the church storming. Don Lemon, bro. I mean, I'm flabbergasted at the whole thing. To be totally honest with you, you know, I seen some pitiful things, some low down and dirty things in my life, but good grief, I mean, the liberals never cease to amaze me. Okay, now we're gonna start with this guy, a Washington D.C. operative known as William Kelly. All right, let's check him out. Storming the church in St. Paul, Minnesota. As you can see, and before I play it, the context is they thought the pastor was an ICE field director. That could be true. It could be false. I don't know. And neither do they. But they don't really care about facts. They're going to just do things just because.
As you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit. Is a preacher? Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No! Jesus would dine with immigrants. Do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens.
Yo. If I hear that in the church from this guy looking like this at the bottom right here, with your funny beard, your crazy eyes, your drug addict appearance, you probably stink. If I hear that, talking about something, don't touch me again, see what happens, you getting knocked out, man. Like, I don't got time. I ain't gonna stomp you. I'm gonna just put you to sleep and then escort you out the building. We're gonna carry you outside and call the police, and we're gonna tell everything that happened.
Hey, you are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity?
They're not out there because they're not getting paid like you are. First of all, they don't believe in your crusade. And second of all, they're not getting paid. This is your job. That's like me going to a church talking about, why don't I see you guys on the fries at McDonald's? I don't work there. You work there. You work at McDonald's. I don't work there. I don't work there, bro. You work at McDonald's.
Where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life while people are starving. Shame. Out now. Out now. Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're all living real comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis. Stand with the Latinos. Quit ignoring this injustice. He wears a suit and tie and he hangs out with Kristi Noem. How is that a Christian? You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you not? Why are you not going down to Whipple and joining us in protest against this inhumanity? You claim to be a Christian, act like one.
Man, listen. Man, please. But see, like I said, they know who they can mess with, who they can't mess with. Some churches in this country, all of this jibber jabber, back and forth, it ain't gonna be none of that going on. Man, you're gonna be asleep. It's gonna be night. It's gonna be hey man, you'll take a nice little nap. It's gonna be the best nap of your life. You're gonna have crazy dreams. How long was I asleep? 30 years? No, I was just 5 minutes. You good. It's gonna be like that, bro, man. Like, and again, I'm not a violent person, but you can't do stuff like that, man. Leave people alone in place of worship. I don't care if it's a mosque, if it's a synagogue or a church or wherever. I don't care. Any kind of temple, place of worship, leave them alone. Don't go in there acting the fool. And really any kind of establishment, like don't go to no Walmart either acting the fool or a Target or anywhere like that. You want to just act a fool outside in this cold weather with the snow, then you want to play with snow, make snowmen and stuff like snow angels. Okay, go ahead and do that. Play outside. But nah, inside establishments. Now here's that same guy looking like you smokes meth for a living professionally in a mosque, a Somali mosque. And all of a sudden, this gravelly, yelling, threatening voice is gone.
So we've been invited to the local Somali mosque, and as you can see how beautiful it is, this is where they do their prayer. This is where normally 500 people will, come and make prayer, but things are quiet because the local community is scared to come out. They're terrified. It was an honor to be invited to this mosque, but it was surreal to be there, and it made me feel good about my actions in that white supremacist church earlier. How can these people be not afraid to go out of their homes, afraid to go practice their prayer, while these rich white people can live like nothing's happening and ignore it completely? It's unjust. It's un-American. What is freedom if it only applies to white people?
This is the first neighborhood that I started to see the riverside.
Gotcha.
Approximately 8,000 to 10,000 Somalians live here.
And you said this is one of the first Somali mosques.
This is the first mosque. Imam Shafi'i.
Okay.
So you see what's going on there. Now you in your best behavior in there. Ain't gonna be no nonsense, super respectful. See what I'm saying? They would never go there. And it doesn't matter if they were against their political views, if they were against their political views or not. Because they know better. They know the Muslims, hey man, it's one Allah Akbar, but you hear that, it's gonna be night. And it might not just be what I was proposing, a quick little, one time to the chin, make him go to bed. It wouldn't even be that. It's going to be a vest with 1,000 bombs right here. I go to the Allah, bomb. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. So they're going to be on their best behavior. Okay. Now, let's keep going here. Don Lemon. Oh, I wasn't involved. I'm just a journalist. Oh, okay. So they told you of the plans ahead of time. You did not inform the authorities. You went with them, participated in the protest because you were badgering the parishioners with a phone in their face, getting aggressive, leaning on them, and you're bringing them coffee. Okay, you're bringing them coffee. You are part of the protest. And you know what? If I'm the prosecutor, I'm going to show all of this in court. I'll be like, okay, Don, you say you didn't know no better? Well, what's this right here? Hey, ABL, we're going to rob a bank. And we know you're a podcaster, YouTuber, whatever. Do you want to come cover it? Okay, but look, it's illegal, right? So you can't tell nobody. So when you're saying that you're about to go cover something, you can't tell what we're doing. And you want to help out, bring some coffee, give us a little bit of pep talk. And when you're talking to the people who are getting robbed as we're doing it, which is a crime, obviously, badger them and tell them that the money is not really theirs. It's all of our money. Bring the money back to the people. And then when you go to court, say you didn't know any better because you're a journalist. Is that going to hold up in court? Is that really going to hold up? It's up to the people prosecuting whether they're going to get him or not. And they need to. And you know why? And again, I know that he retarded and didn't know no better, but you got to send a message. You can't just let people do stuff because they don't know no better. Nah, let's set boundaries right now. Let's set boundaries right now so you know to not do it in the future. And it'd be a signal for everybody else. You can't just do whatever you want to do in this country. You have to have rules and you got to have boundaries. Okay, now, this is done before the actual church invasion.
Into Minneapolis a little bit ago and did some reconnaissance on the ground, speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we were like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we were like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? Saw the American flag or whatever, but these are resistance protesters. They're planning an operation that we're going to follow them on. I can't tell you exactly what they're doing, but it's called Operation Pull Up. and it's Takima Armstrong, and she has been doing this since George Floyd, Dante Wright, and others, where they surprise people, catch them off guard, and hold them to account. And so that's what we're doing here. And then after we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, can't tell you where they're going.
Okay, so you know where they're going. They told you where they're going, but you can't say nothing. Now, what you should do, rather than going and documenting them committing this crime, is call the authorities. Hey, they told me they're going to rob the bank and they want me to come see it. So I'm on the phone with the police like, yo, there's a group of people right here in Minneapolis. They're going to go to the bank and rob it. They're going to the church and storm it. Go ahead and get people down there to stop it before it happens. But you say, you know what? I'm going to just go down there and hang out. I'm going to go down there and hang out. That's not how it works, bro. You gotta use your brain, all your brain. Okay, now here's Don inside the church interviewing the pastor. And again, if I'm the pastor, man, you get in a 2-piece, no biscuit and no drink. Matter of fact, a 2-piece with a biscuit and no drink. Choke on that. But anyway,
what do you think of this? I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship. So,
but there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
Yeah. We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
He's badgering. See, it's not just an interview. An interview, and I've done interviews. I've been interviewed. An interview is when you are asking questions and allow them to answer, move on to the next question. It's not this debate thing. A debate is not the same thing as an interview. Okay, like if I go on a podcast and the person asking me questions and then it begins to be a bunch of back and forth, it's like, okay, do you want to interview me or you want to have a debate? Because you want to have a debate, we can have a moderator and really do it the right way. You're just in this church harassing and badgering the pastor. And again, if I'm the pastor, bop, all of that is going to be, hey man, Don, you're going to be taking a little nap right there in the pulpit. On my grandma, you're going to be taking a nice little long nap in the pulpit. But anyway, let me just move forward because I want to show you when he was interviewing. Oh, I'm going to show you what he was talking about. While documenting the whole thing, quote unquote document. I'm going to show you what he was saying. And y'all tell me if these are the words of someone who was just observing, as I like to say. Are these the words of someone who was just observing, or are they the words of an active participant in a protest? You let me know.
This is the beginning of what's going to happen here. When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street, you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry. And if you remember what the Civil Rights Movement was about, the Civil Rights Movement was about these very kinds of protests. And for some reason, in our modern era, people think that in order to have protests, you got to be, cordoned off to a certain area and, what time you can protest. There's nothing in the Constitution that tells you what time you can protest. You can protest at any time. That's the whole point of it, is to disrupt, it's to make uncomfortable. And that's what they're doing. And that's what I believe when I say everyone has to be willing to sacrifice something. You have to make people uncomfortable in these times. If you see how uncomfortably and how harsh people are being treated on the streets, you have to be willing to go into places and disrupt and make people uncomfortable.
So there you go. He's saying that he supports a protest. They got to be uncomfortable. You can protest wherever you want, although that's not true. So are these the words of someone who was just covering the protest, quote unquote protest, church invasion, or are these the words of someone who is participating in the church invasion? I think it's more of the latter. I mean, common sense, in my humble opinion, would say it's the latter and not the former. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? All right, let's keep moving. And here he is after the whole situation, talking about it again.
You heard what some of the folks said in there, that this is, they shouldn't be there, and, they shouldn't be uncomfortable, and this is our house and whatever. That's what protesting is about, is to make people uncomfortable. You may not like it, but, if they went into a church, any church, you heard.
See? Don, you gotta get locked up, bro. Hey, Pam Bondi, if you're listening to me, you gotta make it happen. I don't want to hear no excuses. I ain't know no better. Nah, that ain't how it work. Okay, I got a little bit more of him, but we're gonna keep on moving because we got to get to the whole FACE Act situation, because not only was it trespassing, the whole church situation, but also he violated the FACE Act and the KKK laws, the anti-KKK laws, because what the Klan would do is exactly what they just did, which was invade the church. Remember the 4 little girls in Alabama, if I'm not mistaken? They got killed in the church fire by them? Yeah. So those laws were enacted to prevent things like this from happening. And imagine one of you guys put a comment on my channel here on YouTube saying, you have entered idiocracy when the black man could be charged with KKK laws on MLK Day. That's where we are, 2026, where a black man could potentially face KKK charges on MLK Day. But let's watch this.
MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. So let me just make it clear, because this a assistant attorney general, I don't know, what's her name? It's something Hammett.
Harmeet Dillon.
Gillen or whatever. So I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. That's it. It's called journalism. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go.
Yeah, it's not how it works, man. The retardation is not going to be a defense. You go to the court talking about something, yeah, I'm a little slow. Nah, that ain't going to be a valid defense, bro. That's not going to be a valid defense. Now, let's look at the FACE Act, which was violated here, because some of us are not very good at reading. You see what it says right here, 18 U.S. Code, Section 248, freedom of access to clinic entrances. Yes, is what the title says, but let's read the actual law. So let's go down to Section 2. But as you see right here, Section A, prohibited activities. Whoever by force or threat of force or by physical obstruction intentionally injures, intimidates, or interferes with, or attempts to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person lawfully exercising or seeking to exercise the First Amendment right of religious freedom at a place of religious worship. So what else is it other than that that's right here in the law? The law is a law. You can see what it says right here. 18 U.S. Code, Section 248. You can read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. It's right there in black and white. This is a FACE Act violation, and you will go to prison. If you guys remember, Beverly Beatty, now known as Beverly Beatty Williams, she got married. Shout out to her. She got locked up under the FACE Act because she went to an abortion center and was protesting outside. She did not go inside. What they said was she had blocked some people from being able to go inside or intimidated them or whatever. She got 41 months in prison and had to get pardoned by President Trump. Now, she got her pardon because what she did wasn't that bad compared to a group of people premeditating, probably funded and recorded going to a church and shut the whole thing down. That's much, 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 much different. And again, she did go to prison, had to serve time. She was in prison and then she had to get pardoned. And she might have been gone for like a year or something like that. She was gone for a while before she got pardoned. Okay, so yeah, if she goes to prison, then so shall they. So shall they. They got to go. And again, if there's nothing that happens here, it's a joke. It's a whole joke. The system is a joke. It's not really serious. All right, now, this person, I have no idea who it is. Jennifer Welch, I don't know who that is, but I see her quite a bit on social media. I don't like showing her too much. She kind of feel fake to me. But here she is, I believe, talking with Don Lemon about the whole situation.
So that is one of those white evangelical churches that turn out to vote for Donald Trump, 80+% of that sect of Christianity. These are the don't tread on me folks. These are the people who feel like America is for Americans and American only. These are white nationalists. And the DOJ got their panties in a wad because these protesters went straight to them and addressed their hypocrisy. You, a gay Black journalist, are, prime bait for them to drum up these charges. But so that's one issue. You went right into the most entitled white nationalists there are. So
you have white people in the church, so that makes them white nationalists. Is that where we at? Is that where we at? Like, they're bad because they're white in the church? Okay. Make that make sense.
And they feel that ICE is 100% justified. But second,
okay, there we go. And you have no idea how anybody in that church feels. You could just try to ask them outside of church rather than going in there and just shutting them down, trying to make a statement, trying to get you, really just trying to get money because, again, it's cold outside. Let's find a way to protest inside. Oh, okay. Let's just say the pastor is an ICE director, whether he is or not, it doesn't really matter. Let's go in there and protest and get our money. That's kind of what I think is happening right here.
And there's a
Okay, now here he is on that same lady's show.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay Black man in America. And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice.
Okay, so look, listen. The retardation is real. Guys like this, people like this shouldn't be on television or anywhere else because they're just not correct. They're incorrect. It's one thing to have different opinions about certain things. Okay, I like pizza with anchovies. You don't. That's an opinion thing. But when it comes down to law, to things you can actually do in the USA, things you can't, it's not really up for debate. It's black and white. I just read you what the law is. When you don't know anything, when you just operate on your feelings, as a man especially, you're not really going to be able to get anything accomplished. You're not going to really be able to get anywhere like that. That's not how you go through life, just using your feelings as a man especially. Now, here is the Minnesota Attorney General, Keith Ellison, who is just as retarded as Don Lemon is. Can we get an IQ test for anybody that's in public office? I'm just saying, for journalists and those in office. And we got a whole hater crew. We got Don Lemon, D.L. Hughley, and Keith Ellison, all haters. Let's watch.
The protest is fundamental to American society. This country started in a protest. And, it's freedom of expression. People have a right to lift up their voices and make their peace. And none of us are immune from the voice of the public. So quite honestly, I think that you got the First Amendment, freedom of religion, and the First Amendment, freedom of expression. And I think that, it's just something that you got to live with in a society. The protest.
So you say, like, it's cool. The protest is cool because you got First Amendment and freedom of religion. But again, bro, this is Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota. Again, the Attorney General of Minnesota has no idea what the law is. And if he does, he's lying right here. So either you're a liar or you're a moron or a combination, probably a combination. But come on, The attorney general. Hey, bro, why is it that I know what it is? Why is it that I know what the law is and you don't? You the attorney general. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And again, what I say about Minnesota, California is bad leaders. Terrible leaders. They don't know anything. How'd you even get to be there? Remember when Kamala Harris was, the attorney general of California? Is there no experience required? Can you just get in there as a favor to a friend? Hey, I got my nephew, he's trying to find a job. Can you be attorney general of California? Okay, cool. Willie Brown, I got my little sugar baby. She kind of getting on my nerves. I'm gonna try to give her something to do. Let's let her be the attorney general of California, and then let her be the senator. Can we get a qualified person in there, or is that too much to ask? Am I asking for too much? Am I asking for too much to get a qualified person? I'm just saying. All right, but if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Now, this was a good video. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Would Don Lemon have tried that in the black church? Would Don Lemon have tried the stunt that he pulled in St. Paul, Minnesota in the black church? Let's check it out.
Yeah, Don Lemon knew better than to go to a black church. He would have never tried that. It would have been a totally different scenario that would have happened. Totally different outcome. Because we don't play about stuff like that. You're not going to come in and you think he would have got an interview? Are you kidding me? He wouldn't have got past the aunties at the front. They would have shut that down. He's not even getting in through the front door. Yeah, we don't play that. In the name of Jesus, he wouldn't have got in. You're talking about dudes reformed from the streets, giving the testimony aunties never gave up on them. You're going to assert yourself into that situation, bro? I'm scared to have my phone on ring when I'm at church. It's just a different atmosphere, I don't even want to say what would have happened that day, but a lot of righteous indignation would have went down. We would have righteously indignated that whole situation, shut it all down. You think he's going to lean into a black pastor? He's going to lean in like that, tell him, hey, don't touch me, and lean in on him with his auntie watching in the front row? You think he's going to do that? Bro, I would pay pay-per-view. I would pay to see that. Don Lemon knew better. He would have never done that, bro. He knows. He's not dumb.
And that's all facts. That is 100% facts. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Okay. You go to a black church with that. First of all, we got armed security off rip. And it's going to be ushers the size of a refrigerator at the door. And if they're not super big, they're going to have a quick draw with their pistol. So automatically you got layers of defense. At the very front, you got the aunties, right? At the very, very front. Inside at the doors, you're going to have usher, security, or whatever. You're not going to get past that right there. And if you do get past that, and you in a certain church and you got the YNs in there, you know what that is. The young Nubian kings, you know what I'm talking about. The young N-words, the young black men that don't really, they young, they got energy, they like to fight, and they in there trying to get their life right. The aunties never give up on them. Them YNs will be on you like white on rice if you get through that door. Okay? The usher say something, it'd be 10 of them on you like, don't do it. As I said before, they know where to go and they know who to mess with, like a bully. You know to pick on, not to pick on. That's pretty much what Don Lemon is. So Don Lemon would not go to no black church or any church where there could be some kind of threat toward him. Very simple. Talking about some, I'm not part of that group. Yes, you are. You most certainly are. And the YNs don't care nothing about that. The YNs ain't trying to hear that you're not part of that group, that you just a journalist. Nah, you're going to get swarmed on too. You're going to get, it's like ants on a piece of food. Just, it's going to be a mess, bro. Anyway, this is a good video from a black conservative woman. What's her channel? Her name is, let me just think before I try to go look it up. I know it. It's something about Black Card. Let me just see right here. Black Card canceled. Yes, Black Card canceled. Shout out to her. Now, this is about the white liberals in Minnesota. It's time to go home.
Every white liberal out in the streets claiming to fight white supremacy and stand up for Black and Hispanic people, go home. Everything you're doing is making life harder for the people you claim to support. Look around you. How many Black and Hispanic people are actually standing beside you right now? Because I promise you this, if Black people feel the need to fight for something, we know how to do that. We fought when dogs were unleashed on us. We fought when pressure washers were used to rip the skin off our bodies. We fought when we couldn't walk down the street without the threat of being lynched. We fought not to be oppressed anymore. And what you do stupefies people into thinking we still are. And Hispanics, they don't need you either. 50% of Latinos voted for Trump. Why? Because they and their families came here legally, did things the right way, and are tired of watching illegal immigrants get rewarded while they follow the rules. A lot of them live on the border and see what happens when there's an unhealthy influx of illegal immigrants in this country. They want deportations too. Your white privilege isn't helping anyone because it doesn't even exist, and believing that people of color can't stand up for themselves without your privilege leading the way is one of the most racist ideas there is. Google the white savior complex. White guilt has been imposed on you so deeply to the point that you feel like it's your duty to hold up posters and vandalize things with your delusions, leading people to think I support it because of my skin color. Get it? Stop. Go home. And get a job. It's Tuesday.
Hey, get a job. It's Tuesday. Listen, it's Tuesday at 12:30 in the afternoon. What are we doing out here protesting? For what? Why are you in the Tarjay at 12:45 p.m. on a Tuesday, sitting on the ground, eating a granola bar with a sign talking about some Renee Good? Why? Why? That right there was very well said, very well done. I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way. The community, Black people, we're not really involved with this. That's just them. Now, a piece of this is they're getting money. They're being paid. But the other piece is people just want to be part of something. They think they're doing the right thing. They think they are saving the poor minority. All they're really doing is just getting in the way and being a nuisance. At best, all they're going to get is money for themselves. It's nothing to do with what they say they're out there for at all. So yeah, shout out to her. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Get a job. Very well said. Again, that's a young lady by the name of Black Card Cancel on the internet. So you can find her. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. And the first guy, let me get his name too, because they got good small channels. Hold on. Let me get his name right quick before I forget. And shout out to you guys again for watching. Hold on one second here. And do I have it? Yeah, I do. Let me just find it right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, I'll try to find it later. I can't find it right now. But if you guys know his name, let me know in the comments below. All right. Now, here's another one. A friend of Chris Wright, shout out to him. He says that a friend of his became an ICE agent recently, and it changed him. At one point, his friend was more on the left and didn't really understand the conservative point of view, but he became an ICE agent, and pretty much overnight, his mind changed. Let's watch.
Mine just got hired by ICE, and he told me that the paycheck was $120,000 a year. Monetarily, income-wise, best job he's ever had. And after a few days on the job, he was like, I just don't understand Americans. And he was a Democrat. He was a liberal. He's the one I used to trade barbs with back and forth about libs and conservatives and Trump and Kamala. And now he's radicalized all the way to the right because of you people in the streets, making his job hard. His wife, his couple of kids. And he just feels like every time I go out there, I hate these people. He hates these liberals in the streets. And then you guys are going, shame, shame. You're shaming and doxing ICE agents who have families just like you do, who have loved ones, friends, parents, and they're just trying to make a living. Just trying to make a living. They are the messengers. They're just doing their job. ICE agents don't make the laws, guys. They just follow them. Protesting ICE workers is like yelling at cashiers because you don't like the store prices. They are the wrong target. If people are mad about immigration rules, they should be protesting the politicians in DC. They're the ones who wrote the laws, not the people hired to enforce them. They're out here trying to keep your community safe, trying to remove dangerous people from the street. A big part of what ICE does is finding and removing people who've committed serious crimes.
Right on. So shout out to him. What he's saying is on point. Listen, the laws are the laws. We're just following the laws. If the law is not to your liking, if you want to change them, then there's processes to go through to change the laws. Okay, you can't just say, don't enforce the law. No, that's on the books for a reason. You want to take it off, you want to change something, okay, then get in office and then you do it. If you can run the country, if you can get who you want to be in office, then go ahead. But just protesting somebody all in their face, doing all kind of crazy stuff, harming them, that's not going to actually change the laws. Actually, that'll make the law crack down harder because it's what we want as a people. It's not just a tyrannical government. We voted for this. We literally said we want illegal aliens out of here. We want the streets cleaned up. We want the crime to be reduced. We said all these things. So now it's actually happening. Our will is what's being done. If you don't like it, then you got to just vote a different way. Listen, don't get mad that you lost. Everybody loses sometimes. Everybody don't win all the time. You lost. That's a self-off. Try again. Very simple. I feel the same way, Angela. Angela says, if I was 20 years younger, I go for ICE career. Hey, this knee won't killing me right now. My knees are my back crazy. If I was not getting up there in age, yeah, I'd go be an ICE agent for sure.
So what's
now, speaking about those who want to protest ICE and those who want to change laws and stuff like this without actually going out there and voting or anything, not actually really being involved politically, aside from just carrying on for a paycheck for George Soros, this young lady says that maybe there should be a symbol on your door that you be a safe place for those running from ICE. What would be a good symbol for them to put on the door to be a safe space? A nose ring with a star on it that shines? I don't know, but let's watch.
So what symbols are we going to start hanging on our doors to let people know it's okay and this is a safe space from ICE? Because I've been trying to think of something to hang on either my porch or my window to let people know that if they need to run, right here, baby. Because we're not allowed to, wave people over. We're not allowed to call to them like, hey, come over here, because that's an accessory to a crime, and you can be arrested for that. But if somebody, were to run inside your house, you don't have any obligation to help them. You just use your Fifth Amendment. Just don't speak to ICE. Don't open the door. Don't speak to them. Don't say anything because they're not going to have a warrant. And if you say something and say like, oh, they're in here, then you're an accessory to their crime. So just don't speak to them. So how are we going to let these people know if you need to run, I'm right here? Okay, first of all, if you have an illegal alien in your home and you're trying to shield them or anything like that, that's called harboring a fugitive, if I'm not mistaken. And you can't do that. See, we got to understand what the law is in this country. A lot of us, Americans who work hard and have lived a little bit, we know what the laws are in this country. We're not ignorant to the law. We know how this country works. We know how the country operates. Some of us, like the young lady right here, don't know too much. Maybe she's on her phone scrolling and all the information comes straight from that. And she's reading whatever feels good to her. It's about her feelings. You don't know anything else other than what feels good to your feelings. The logic is not even really there. And if you decide to put someone on your door, the police, they're watching this video. They're watching what y'all did. They see y'all already. Y'all not low. You're not slick. You're not clever. You're not anything. You're not intelligent, clever, slick. They know what you're doing. So if you do put, let's say, a giant septum ring on your door that says, hey, we're welcoming, they're going to know what that means. And they're going to go straight to you and see where the illegal aliens are at. Okay. And they're going to do surveillance on you. Listen, you know what? People that try to do like little sneaky stuff, little illegal stuff, the police see you already. Ain't no sense in you trying to hide all of that because it's not even about like advanced tactics to be able to spy on you. Y'all make it obvious.
I make it super obvious. Y'all put videos on the internet. You might as well say, hey, here's my name, date of birth, social. Here's my criminal history. Here's my background. Here's my whole phone, all my pictures and everything, metadata on it. You might as well say that because you're giving them all of what they need. A lot of law enforcement, they're on the computer like this all day, finding things to use against you in the court of law. So yeah, shout out to her septum ring. All right.
It's gonna real.
Now, let me just play this one. Oh. So this woman has some questions about the Minnesota church protest. She has some questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer her questions, okay? Let's go ahead and check it out.
Y'all bitching about protesters going into the church and, you know, protesting. And it was because they found out or thought, I don't know if it's true yet, that the pastor was an active ICE agent, actually a head of the ICE agent division somewhere in their community.
They found out the pastor was an ICE agent. Or maybe he wasn't. It doesn't matter. They thought he was the head of the ICE agent division. Okay, what are you even saying? Do you know what you're talking about right now? You're just saying anything. Anyway, I digress.
But here's my question. Did the protesters attack anybody, pull them down, beat them, take them into detention center, and then grape them, let them go, beat them, even though they were citizens and were legally able to be here? Like, did they do that?
Okay, now there's a question. No, they didn't do that, but it's not within their right to do that because the protesters are not ICE agents trying to capture those who are wanted for crimes or those who have committed crimes and those who are here illegally. You see, these federal agents have the authority to do what they do to arrest those who are here illegally and or have committed crimes and or are wanted for crimes. They have that right. So let's not make a false comparison.
No, they just went into a church and just used their voices. No violence. Nobody got hurt. They just got mad because they went in there.
Well, okay. Again, the law was broken. You can't just say because you think it is okay to do a certain thing that it becomes legal. That's not how that works. If I think that it's okay to rob a bank, which I don't, but if I did and then the bank got robbed, my feelings about the legality of a bank robbery matter not. All that matters is what it says on the black and white in the paper, in the books. It's all that really matters. My feelings, your feelings, their feelings, doesn't matter.
So, but it's okay for ICE to go into your job and throw you down. It's okay for ICE to see you in a parking lot, drag you out of your car, beat you, leave you bloody.
Well, if you don't resist, it's all right. It's like, okay, come with me voluntarily, and then it's going to be fine. They ain't going to just beat you up for no reason.
It doesn't, they're taking people, not even asking and checking to see if they're citizens. They're just, grabbing now, asking questions later. Because that's okay in this world. Right. So, like, really, did anybody die in that church? Did
anybody die? Hey, it ain't that bad. That it's more that, you know what? He did get hit by the car and he was bleeding internally at the hospital, but he didn't die. So why did he have to shoot her? Hey, it would have only been okay for the officer to shoot Renee Nicole Good if he got run over by the car and he died. If he was dead, then he could shoot. But only if he died and he can't shoot her, he got to be pretty much Jesus Christ to come back. He got to get hit by the car and die, come back, and then shoot all four tires out. That's a solution from these people. See what I'm talking about? Retardation rules the nation. And again, when I say that, I don't mean anybody that has disabilities. I'm not talking about you guys at all. I'm talking about full-grown regular adults with jobs and kids and everything else that believe this nonsense. That's what I'm speaking about. Retardation rules the nation. There we go, right there. Did anybody die? Is that how that works? Hey, you know what? I shot you about 15 times, but you ain't die. You all right. Don't call the police. Don't try to get me locked up. I mean, attempt murder. I mean, it was a failed attempt, so I shouldn't go to jail, right? That's how they think. Idiots. Idiocy.
Okay, I need
Okay, now what was this one about? I almost forgot. Okay, so has Trump declared civil war on Minnesota? Apparently, she thinks that that might be the case. Okay, let's check it.
Okay, I need a vibe check from all the other folks that are on the right side of history. So it feels a little bit like Donald Trump has unofficially declared civil war against Minneapolis, of all places, by sending in, 2,000 to 3,000 ICE agents. But if he goes ahead and sends in those extra 1,500 paramilitary folks, which I don't even know what that is, like from helicopters, or I don't know. But if he does that, that feels like an official declaration of war. And this is my first civil war. And as an elder millennial with a little bit of the tism, I need to plan ahead. I need to understand. Listen, I'm a prepper and I have everything I need to survive, but I need to understand what to expect. I need to make a plan. I need to understand, like, for example, is there a syllabus or like a sign up genius or a Facebook page that we're supposed to be referencing, or are we just fully winging it here?
Okay, you know what? I don't really see that there's a civil war happening in Minnesota. But if you want to just break laws, wreak havoc, then that's on you. That's your decision. If you want to do that, then you'll be met with some kind of force to rein all that in. The majority of Americans do not appreciate what you're doing. This is not a thing where it's like half the country says it's okay and half says it's not. Nah, it's about an 80-20 rule at best, probably 95-5 rule of those who like what's happening in Minnesota. Other places with the illegal aliens stealing and the criminal element. It's only a handful of Americans who appreciate that kind of stuff. Okay, so you guys are in the extreme minority. You know what I would say, Mr. Corporate Executive, up voice lady? Deliverables and options and operatives. You know what I say? Hey, just act right and be regular, be normal. That's it. That's my advice to you to plan for anything. Just be a regular human being. Go to work and mind your business. That's what I would say. What do y'all think? But her feelings, yeah, hey, facts and feelings don't really intertwine. That's not really their thing. Shout out to Ben Shapiro. Shout out to her. Let's keep going here. Now, this is pretty sad. This is pretty sad. This woman right here is going to leave a farewell message for her parents in case ICE gets her and something tragic happens. Let's watch.
This is a message from my mom. If I am executed by ICE officers today.
Hold on. Before we begin, make sure I'm saying the right thing. Okay. This is for her mom, not from her mom. Let's start from the top, okay? In case she gets deleted by ICE officers, this is her message.
This is a message from my mom. If I am executed by ICE officers today, it will not be because of anything that I did. I want you to know a couple things. First, I don't carry weapons on me. Second, I won't be holding any signs. There will be no indication from me that I'm a violent person or a threat to anyone. I do not plan on following anyone. I do not plan on screaming or shouting or even speaking to anyone. I am there to observe and document. This is a historical moment for me in my lifetime, for the state of Minnesota. And no matter what the outcome is, I believe it deserves to be documented. I believe it is my responsibility and my right to document it. Firsthand, as an observer, show what is happening in my city. I believe in the freedom and the foundations of America and the United States Constitution. I also believe in change and progress. If I am executed today by ICE officers, it will not be because of anything that I did. I'm saying this because I need you to understand what you're supporting and what you're fighting against and possibly reconsider.
Okay, there we go. So, you know what I heard throughout all of that? I didn't do nothing. Hey, you know what? If they do something to me, it's not because it's anything that I did. I didn't do anything wrong. You know, I'm just out here observing. It's not my fault. Nah. If something happens to you, it's because you did something. ICE agents not just out here just trying to hunt people and just do something to them for no reason. If something happens to you at the hands of an ICE agent, it's because you did something. That's usually what's going to be. Renee Nicole Good. Maybe she thinks that Renee Nicole Good didn't do anything. She was just trying to get away, as they say, which was crazy. Maybe she thinks that. So if she just tries to get away in the car and hitting the cop and dragging another one, she going to say, well, I didn't do anything. I got shot for no reason. That's not how it works. You cannot do whatever you want in this world. And if you try, there'll be accountability assigned to you. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. So yeah, shout out to her. Stay alive. Don't go out there and do nothing crazy to no ICE officer. You know, don't go out there and do anything crazy with an ICE officer. Now we got some more. We got a whole lot more. All right, let's check it. We get some sound.
It's 2 a.m., middle of the night, and I'm awake. Who else can't sleep anymore? Every night, mind racing with all the ways our country is going to hell. Who else is up with me?
Okay, so that's a great question. Now, me, I sleep like a rock. I'm talking about I'm out snoring, loud snoring. Waking up in the morning, I done been slobbing on myself. I'm talking about I sleep real good. I don't have no worries. I ain't worried about nothing. I'm great. I feel amazing. Matter of fact, when I go to bed, if I'm not watching something about UFOs or time space or something like that, ancient Egypt, Rome, if I'm not watching that, I'm watching ICE arrest videos. Okay? Yeah, I'm watching that. I like when a child ex-offender gets arrested. Yeah. I need more of that. When you get a whole gang of these guys from a whole different country that's not Mexico or anywhere else, Western Hemisphere, getting arrested for trafficking children. Yeah, that's a good feeling. I sleep like a rock. I am very comfortable. And in my dreams, I got daisies and rainbows. It's all pleasant. No negativity whatsoever. But you know what? Hey, if you're having a problem being able to get to sleep and have peaceful sleep, restful sleep, get like me. Get like me and find comfort in the good that is spreading over this world. Find comfort in that, just as I have. So yeah, shout out to her. Hey man, I sleep real good. Real good. It don't matter where I'm at. I could be on the plane, on the ground. I sleep real good. Okay, let's keep going here. We got a lot more happening. This is them at the Tarjay. And I hate how they have co-opted church songs that I grew up singing. I hate that so much that the white liberals have taken that. Like they took the fist, the church songs, they took everything.
We are one. We won't stop fighting. We won't stop fighting. ICE is gone. Till ICE is gone. Oh, we are ready. We are. The fight's not over. The fight's not over. Love has won. The love has won. Love has won. The love has won.
Look at this guy right here. Like this right here is emblematic of the whole situation. Okay, crying on his knees with an abolish ICE sign in his hand. So weak, so pathetic, but that is pretty much what's happening right now in Minnesota.
Till love has
All right, there. I've had quite enough. Hey, imagine you are in Minnesota, St. Paul, etc., going to the Tarjay, trying to get you some some groceries, trying to get you, I don't know what they got in Target, a specialty cutting board. Hey, you got a cart, you got a birthday card, a specialty cutting board. You know, you got some chicken breasts, you know what I'm saying? You got some regular things. And then you run into this at the front. Matter of fact, if I see this at the front, if I hear the butchered church songs, the misused church songs, if I hear that outside, I'm gonna just drive on past. Don't even worry about it. You got it. Okay, I see one too many Bull Dagger hairstyles out in the parking lot, one too many blue hairstyles, one too many septum rings with all kind of little jewelry on it. Don't worry about it. I'm good. That's why I don't like going to Trader Joe's. Okay, because I'm afraid that one day, if I go to Trader Joe's, that one day this is going to happen. And now I'm just in there out back. And then somebody going to say, hey, that's a MAGA YouTuber. He's a black guy. He's a traitor. I'm going to hear N-words flying. I'm going to see them start to throw the chai lattes at me. And it's going to be fresh and hot from the Starbucks inside the Target. I'm toast. I'm totally toast. So yeah, I don't want to go to no super liberal hangout place. Okay, Transformers and Transformers, the blue hairs, that's dangerous. Okay, now let's keep going. Speaking about the N-words flying and the racism you get, listen, the racism from white liberals is out of this world. 41 years old, throughout my entire life, I've never experienced racism from anyone else other than the white liberals. And it's really bad on the internet. Back when I was a liberal guy and I was battling conservatives online in my 20s when I was young and dumb, what I would get from the conservatives, you retarded, you don't know anything, learn how to read. What they would say in response to my insults, because I'm insulting them. I'm insulting the conservatives when I'm like 21, 22. I was told, you don't know anything, learn how to read, you're retarded. It was a matter of, you just don't know what you're saying. It was not N-word, house this, coon. It was not racial slurs. It was, you're ignorant. But when you speak to a leftist, it's racial slurs. You see? It's always about your skin color. It's always about your race rather than about the facts of what we're talking about. Let's watch.
Race traitor?
See, again, y'all.
See, off the rip, race traitor. I've never in my life been called a race traitor by anyone else other than somebody that look just like that, a white liberal. The person who says that they're your friend, they say you're on your side, but really they're the main enemies. They're your main op, as the cool kids say. Your opposition.
Be a race traitor?
See, again, y'all are throwing race into all of this. Nobody's throwing race into it.
You profile people for how they look. You profile people for how they look and how they speak without your mask.
Black guy says, hey, you guys throwing race into it. I ain't talking about race.
And without your shitty little Timu getup, your ass would be stopped by ICE and you fucking know it. You guys tried to detain your own person. Yeah, that's probably because you have the reading level of a fucking 8th grader, my dude.
So now I can't read. I'm a race traitor. All of that within 30 seconds. You see what I'm saying? See, I experience this every day, every single day, not in person. Usually not in person because they soft, they cowards. Like if they got like a group of them together, if they feel comfortable enough to say that, it's because you probably can't do anything to them if you're a police officer or something like that, and they have a group of them around. But if it's just you and them one-on-one, just in the street, they would never say that. But they will tell you, they will tell you that online. They send you emails and DMs and whatnot talking like that.
Come on.
Fucking go anywhere. This idiot isn't gonna learn.
Working for the fucking government? Like you think that this is gonna save you? From everything that's going on in this world?
Whether you work for the government.
Hey, do you know that you have to work for ICE? Man who is out there racially profiling other people.
See what I'm saying? I hate them. I hate them so much. They're racist. Under 1 minute, you're a race trader. You're a black man. You profiling people. You got a low reading level. You're dumb. You're retarded because you're black. That's what I hear. You see what I'm saying? And then they're the ones that say that the conservatives are the racist ones. Trump is the racist ones. The white conservatives are the racist ones. But all they talk about is race all day long. And if you don't adhere to their principles and the way that they think and they believe, then they're going to be racist toward you. That's how they do. If you're a conservative talking to a liberal person, it's not about race. It's about you just don't know anything. You're retarded. You have no information. You're ignorant. It was like that when I was young and a liberal, and it's like that now that I'm a conservative. It's not changed. We have not changed, nor have they. All that's changed is the perception of both sides, the liberals and the conservative. All that has changed is the perception. The actions of the people has not changed at all. It's not changed in the least bit. So there we go. You got your white liberals screaming at a black guy because he's an ICE agent, telling him that he's a race trader and he shouldn't be doing that because he's black. But they're not racist. Got it. Now, if you heard in the background, they were playing that song, Blow the Whistle. Did you hear that? And they were literally blowing the whistle. Matter of fact, hold on. You can look it up if you don't know the song. Too Short, Blow the Whistle.
Be a race trader?
See, again, y'all are throwing race into all of this. No.
You hear the song in the background?
The history of immigration. We do. Both.
Now, fun fact. This beat was done by Lil Jon because Lil Jon and Too Short were cool early. It's a whole story. But yeah, that's a Lil Jon beat, Blow the Whistle, done by Too Short. Fun fact. Anyway, speaking about whistles, they're literally out there blowing whistles in the street to warn people of ICE. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've not owned a whistle since I've been like 5 years old. Unless you're a referee or a traffic guard or something like that, why do you even have that? Where do you get whistles from nowadays? Do you go to Toys R Us? Is that still a thing anymore? Like, where do you go to get a whistle? And how you look ordering the whistle? I wonder what the guys at Amazon think when they throw in the whistle in the bag for you to get. Like, oh, here we go. It's going to be cat food right next to a whistle. But anyway, let's check this out.
So we're out in the community being patrollers and observers, just had an interaction with ICE, pulled up alongside my vehicle, rolled down his window with his face mask on, waved at me, and then did this, I see you. They like to play games. We're moving on to check out some other vulnerable community spaces. This is what we can do. Got my whistle. These are what our days look like, friends.
All right, and she running for Congress out there. Okay, so good luck. Hey, good luck with her. Grown lady blowing the whistle outside, driving around. Does she have the diapers that the other lady had in the car, or is she just kind of doing this right now for the commercial? I wonder. Is she really about that action? Is she going to be out there with the midnights, whatever the little diapers were the other lady had? Or is she just kind of fronting for the camera? What's going on? Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go back to the one scene we just saw. Because the lady was talking about all the race stuff because she's racist, you know, per usual for a liberal. But she was saying, hey, why aren't you guys getting any Canadians? Why is it always Mexicans? Now, we know, those of us that know things, those of us that read, and we are not just brainwashed morons, NPCs, drones, empty shells of human beings. Those of us that know that the entire world comes here illegally and they all get deported. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Canadian stripe. It does not matter where you're from. You're going to get deported if you're here illegally. And if you are a criminal alien on top of that, that's even, you're top of the list. You're priority. You're going to get first car. If you go to the DMV, you're going to get primary seating. If it's Delta, you're going to get call on row 1. Zone 1, row 1, that's you if you're here illegally and you commit a crime. But let's just look at this allegation of them not arresting Canadians. And let's see what the facts are.
It's simple. It's straight simple. They can look like me, you, her, him. if you're legal or illegal, you'll get deported.
From a European country right
Then
now.
why aren't you doing it to Canadians?
Yeah.
Okay, now she said Canadians. Now, we got quite a few Canadians here. Let's just go through it. We got Ali Shakay from Canada, Richard Verrett, Ali cocaine, credit card fraud, Richard. This guy right here, Donald Bertrand, looks kind of like a white guy to me from Canada, arrested. Sexual exploitation of a minor via telecommunications, obscene material, manufacturing. You know what that means. He had something on his phone. Okay? A white Canadian, convicted, deported. A guy right here, black Canadian, Joshua Moses, arrested in Texas, larceny, fraud, credit cards. And you see the list goes on. We got all races. We got an Asian guy, Mitchell Chow, conspiracy. Abel, what's his name? Abel, Ethiopian guy. A lot of guys. Naeem, Rise, I can't even pronounce it, but you see it. There are quite a few ethnicities there. There are quite a few different names, colors, creeds, religions, genders, everything. So people see what they think they see. They see what they want to see. They don't see the reality. They don't see the reality. Okay? They don't really get it. And a lot of these people are repeat criminal offenders, not just being here illegally, but they're repeat criminal offenders, which is why they're top of the list. They got priority A. You're going to be seated first on the airplane. They're going to say any veterans, anybody that need assistance, you're going to be seated first on the airplane, going straight back to your country of origin, going straight to the penitentiary, then back to your country of origin. All right. So there we go. You didn't see, Paula says you didn't see whites coming across the border, but once. Well, I mean, that don't mean anything. What does that mean? Coming across the border? What border? Where? Like how? There's a variety of ways you could come to the country illegally. There's a variety of ways, not just coming across the border. And I doubt that you were able to see everybody come across the border. And speaking about the border, in 1 year, there were 400,000 captured at the border, 400,000 caught at the border from 190 countries. And if you do a little bit of counting, there's at most 193 countries in the world. Every country almost in the world, except for like North Korea, maybe, every country in the world tried to come here illegally. That's the reality. Now, of course, it'd be more from Mexico and other parts of Central America because it's right there. But please believe they come from the whole world. Chinese, there's a lot of them that come over here illegally as well. A lot of Chinese, a lot of Southeast Asian, a lot of Chinese, a lot of African, a lot of South American, like Brazilian and stuff like that too. The whole world come over here illegally. All right. Now let's check this out. Let's keep going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Now, we're going to get to Davos in a minute, or Davos, Switzerland. But I wanted to show this exchange on CNN with our guy, Scott Jennings. All right. I want to show this because there was a reaction from someone that I wanted to show as well. All right. Let's check it out.
I recognize you haven't reviewed all the material anymore.
But the diverse,
the percentage. Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother. Listen, I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them, illegal aliens. That's what I'm going to call them.
Right. Listen, you can't say illegals anymore because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country. And how
are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity?
Listen, I understand.
But just listen to his point about illegal.
No, I want to know why he gets to instruct
You're
my
changing the topic.
Hang on. I want to know.
You're making a point about the people being arrested.
I
understand that your job is predicated on just getting increasingly more demented every single week, and that the audience comes back to see if perhaps
make your point.
My point is that you're saying the word illegals, but you don't even really know what's happening. Or actually, I think you do, and you're doing this on purpose. But
yes,
the truth
because
is,
I want the law enforced.
They are not just targeting illegal immigrants. They are targeting natural-born U.S. citizens.
They are not.
That is a fact. You
They are
cannot
not.
deny that. I mean, you can on national television.
They are
You deny
not.
facts all the time.
They
You've
are
done it a
not.
couple times in this very episode.
I still want to know how you're going to enforce your language edicts on it.
We'll take that up.
How are we going to enforce it?
We're going to take that up in the break. Coming.
All right, there we go. So there's Scott talking about, look, how you going to tell me what to talk about? I can't say illegals no more. Why can't I say that anymore? How you going to enforce that? Like, what's really going on? And ICE, they're not targeting natural-born citizens. They're just not doing that. They're targeting illegal aliens. Now, here's Chris Cuomo, a.k.a. Fredo, talking about, okay, Mr. Tough Guy, what's going on? So, again, here's Chris Cuomo, a.k.a. Fredo, responding to what just happened with Scott Jennings.
You see this clip of Scott Jennings saying, how are you going to enforce it? How are you going to enforce me not saying the word illegals anymore? How are you going to do that?
Say illegals anymore.
All right, let's go back a little bit. Go up a little bit.
Listen to his point about illegal.
What are you, bully now? What are you, tough guy? Because you're talking to this kid who happens to be right, calling people illegals. They're called illegal aliens in the law. And you know what? A long time ago, Republicans and Democrats switched to undocumented. Why? Because it seemed inhuman. That's why. They changed the vernacular, and you know it. But that's not the point. The point is, how are you going to do it? What are you going to do? What are you? You're a tough guy now, huh? I thought you were just supposed to be the simpering, but, open to conversation Trump defender. Of course, I remember you when you said he was like the worst thing in the world. But everything's convenience these days, right? It's getting you paid. But be careful. If you want to be a tough guy, there are plenty of tough guys out there. You want to see how somebody can make you stop saying illegal? And then what are you going to do? Sue? Tough guy. How are you going to enforce that? So if somebody beats your ass because you're being rude and disrespectful and causing division in this country that's causing distress and pain all over the streets and making people want to hurt one another, if you really want to be a part of that, as the expression goes, FAFO, don't be a tough guy. Make tough points. But remember to be decent. You're not a tough guy, okay? You're a guy with slick to the side hair, a slick tongue, and everybody knows what you're doing. Don't be a tough guy. Not you.
Okay, Fredo. So, I mean, are you going to be the tough guy? Like, you're talking about well, there could be some guys that'll make you stop saying illegal. Is it going to be you? Is it going to be you? Like, who's going to do that? And check it out. If any of y'all on television or anywhere else, a podcast, TV, if you touch one hair on my chin, I'm most certainly suing you. Oh, yeah. I'm not trying to get locked up behind none of that, because if Chris Cuomo or anybody try to fight me, I'm probably going to beat them up, but I'm not trying to get locked up. So, nah. Hey, check it out. If I got to defend myself, I'm going to go ahead and just do it. But really, I'm going to go ahead and try to sue you, because you're not going to put your hands on me without really feeling it. Not just, and really what y'all do, guys like this, what they do is they challenge you physically. And then when they get beat up, then they want to call the police. That's what they always do. They want to call the police on you and sue you. I'm not going to fall for that. I'm going to sue you and call the police on you. That's what I'm going to do. Guys like this that want to try to make threats and stuff like that will be the first ones to sue you. The first ones to call the police. It'll be Fredo, a.k.a. Chris Cuomo, for sure. So to answer your question, I'm going to answer it for Scott. I'm Scott's interpreter right now. I'm his spokesman right now. To answer your question, yes, I'm going to see you the first thing smoking. Hey, if you touch me on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, first thing smoking, I'm at the courthouse. I'm on the phone with the cops. I'm on the phone with the cops on air. It'll be streaming live on CNN. I'll be like, police, Fredo just touched me in the chin, and I'm going to press charges right now. Get the police down here. And then in the morning, I'm going straight to court. Man, please, I'm not going to jail for you or anybody else. Now, this is the Virginia Speaker of the House. Am I saying this? Make sure I'm saying the right thing. The Virginia Speaker of the House. Yes, this is the Virginia Speaker of the House. His name is Don Scott.
A black.
Now, this is his take on Trump and Renando Code Good and some other stuff.
As a black man here, and we're celebrating MLK Day, and he spent a lot of time protesting. We have a president that is harassing and tear gassing, and he shot a unarmed white lady in the face in America, and we are justifying it, and they are justifying it. And so right now we have no choice, I think, but to push back against the atrocities that are being committed by Donald Trump and his minions.
Okay, so I guess Trump is the guy that's responsible for everything that's going on. Anything that's wrong, just blame Trump. So it's Trump's fault that a lady tried to hit a cop with a car and she got shot as a result. It's Trump's fault. Trump did that. Oh, okay. Is that what we're going to go with? Unarmed. Since when was a 5,000-pound car as a weapon unarmed? Since when was that a thing? Well, it wasn't no pistol in the hand, but the car, it doesn't really count. All right. Okay. Now, here's Jasmine Crockett talking about whites are going around lynching black folks. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening. Let's check it out.
They not even going, honestly, they're about to outlaw the idea of white supremacy and white hate. Like, they are about to be like, oh, that's not a thing. Forget the fact that you're talking about getting rid of like the classification for nooses in a time in which we have seen these random black bodies be strung up down south. Also, seemingly at a time in which you're back in office, because what you do is you embolden the hate. You embolden everybody to take off their hoods. That is what he has done. He is the one that is producing this violence. They not even going, honestly, they're about to outlaw.
Okay, now, Jasmine, I'm trying to find you a good screenshot. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Good as is going to get right there. So, Jasmine, ain't nobody getting hung in 2026. That's not really your thing. Listen, there's no one being lynched in 2026. It's not really a thing that happens. It did happen in the past. It's not happening right now. And it's not even a thing that's practical. Do you understand how hard that is to actually lynch somebody? Everybody got guns now. If there was an issue with somebody, they would just get shot. Ain't no point in trying to lynch somebody. That's not really no thing no more. And if somebody is lynched, it's not really going to be a guessing game on whether they get lynched or not. That's not really, if they were lynched, there'd be defensive wounds. There'd be something that would show that there was a struggle before they got strung up. You're not going to just get somebody on top of in the rope and just have them be calm. That's not really a thing that happens. A lynch mob forms and then they go get the person. But again, we're in 2026, not 1926. 2026, not 1926. So the fear mongering campaign from the leftists like Jasmine Crockett, it ain't going to work because it's not rooted in reality. It's not really rooted in reality. And as I said before, I said it on my live stream. I'm going to give you some stats right here. As I saw the other clip on The View, I ain't going to show that, with Pam Grier talking about she saw somebody get lynched. I mean, that could have happened, but maybe it didn't. But it doesn't really matter. Let's talk about lynching for a minute. I know that's a tough topic. Let's talk about lynching. But let's talk about it for real, because let's just kill this conversation right now. According to the Tuskegee Institute, which is a black college, shout out to Booker T. Washington from West Virginia, my home originally. But anyway, according to Tuskegee Institute, again, a black college, between 1865 and 1965, there were 3,500 black folks lynched. Now, this does not say if it was a Klan that did it, if it was a white person that did it, if it was a black person that did it. It doesn't say anything. But let's just say it was all white folks that lynched the black folks. And side note, in that same time, 1,700 white folks were lynched in that same period of time. Anyway, 3,500 divided by 100 is what? I'm not Albert Einstein. I'm not good with math. But if you have 3,500 divided by 100, that's 35. Okay? 35 a year lynched. 35 black folks a year lynched in between 1865 and 1965. How many black folks are killed in the community every year? How about during the crack war? You're talking about 10,000 black folks getting killed every year during the crack war. And now it's still high. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 is still high. So what's worse, 35 or 10,000? You tell me. What's the actual bigger issue here? The crime that we inflict on each other as black people, or a thing that has not happened in America really in the past 70 years or so. And even when it was happening, 35 a year on average. And toward the end, it was in single digits, 1, 2, 3, not 10,000. But anyway, that was on my mind. I had to get it off. That was on my mind. I saw that about Pam Grier, but they ain't going to show that because it's The View and they try to do copyright stuff. And plus, I don't want to start that conversation because Pam Grier, without showing the video, said that she had to get shielded from a dead body in the tree by her mother in Columbus, Ohio. Now, she was born 1949. So this would have been in the 50s. And people said, well, no, that didn't happen because, there was nothing like that in Ohio at that time. I mean, that's not necessarily the truth. I got family in Columbus. So that's not necessarily the truth. Like, stuff like that did happen. It wasn't often, obviously, like I said, 35 a year at best. And when she got toward the end, it was pretty much nothing. But it's possible that could have happened. Could have gone unreported. You never know. And you don't know what happened. It could have been somebody that killed themselves. It could have been somebody that got killed by another black person. It could have been anything. You never know what that is. All right. Just the same kind of way you see it right now. If you see a black person hanging from a tree, they probably deleted themselves. It wasn't somebody coming to get him and put him on the tree. That's not really what's going on right now, 2026. All right. But let's keep going here. Let's keep going. All right. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. Now, this is what I wanted to show about Tom Homan. Now, did you guys know that Tom Homan was the same? Did you guys know that Tom Homan, our Border Patrol guy, was doing the exact same job under Barack Obama? And under Obama, he got an award from Obama. I'm going to show you the video right here. Let's check it out.
Obama's ICE chief gets an award for 920,000 removals. Trump's ICE chief is called a Nazi. Same guy, Tom Homan, was in charge of it for Obama. Obama deported in 2012 409,000 people. Trump in 2025, 290. Wow. You got to do the math. It's so frustrating because, like you said, they've taken such an anti-Trump administration position that no matter what he does, even if it is in the name of good intentions, the problem is Minnesota is a sanctuary state. So because they're a sanctuary state, they do not cooperate with ICE. They can arrest somebody for a violent crime, have them in jail, and they release them on the street. And so ICE is forced to go get these people in the streets. Obama's ICE chief.
So there we go. So why was it okay for Tom Homan to be the Border Patrol guy and have a bunch of deportations, many more than what's happening right now under Trump? Why was it okay? He got an award from Obama. It was all good. Now, all of a sudden, the same people who supported Barack Obama, the same ones who miss him, the same ones who love him are now saying that the guy who was doing the exact same job under Obama is a Nazi. Make it make sense. Is it about ICE? Is it about illegal aliens? Or is it about President Trump? Is it about a coordinated campaign against President Trump from those who do not want him in power? Like, what is it about for real? Like, let's talk about it. And again, in 2012, Barack Obama deported 409,000 people. In 2025, Trump deported 290,000 people. So Trump has the same guy doing the same job, deporting fewer people, but there's more of an outrage. Obviously, it's not about the deportations. It's about Trump himself, per usual. Now, we got a story about Barron. Shout out to Barron. Okay, our favorite nephew, Barron Trump. So let me just turn this volume down. I'm gonna just read what happened here because I don't think there was a video that went with it. It was just a story that came out. So let me just put him up for the visual. Remember this at the inauguration, Melania was so proud, and Melania at the inauguration was amazing. And Barron, like he looking like Kristaps Porzingis out there, big 6'8", looking like Luka Doncic's little brother, 6'8" basketball player. But anyway, so it says Barron Trump is being credited with saving the woman's life after she was being attacked by her ex-boyfriend in the UK. The revelation came from the woman who told a London court that Barron Trump's quick thinking saved her life. According to the report, 22-year-old Matvey Romanstev became jealous of his girlfriend's friendship with Barron and started assaulting her. Barron reportedly picked up a FaceTime call to see Romanstev allegedly beating his friend. Barron then jumped into action and called UK police at their number 999 to tell operators that his friend was being assaulted. Snaresbrook Crown Court played the audio in court where Trump's youngest child was reportedly heard saying, "I just got a call from a girl I know. She's getting beaten up." Barron gave the police the woman's address before saying, "It's really an emergency. Please. I got a call from her with the guy beating her up. She called me. I picked up the phone expecting a nice hello or something," Barron reportedly told the police. "I just saw a ceiling and I could hear screaming and I could see a guy's head on the phone and then the camera turns to her crying and getting hit. I called you guys as best I could do. I wasn't going to call back and threaten things with him because that would just make the situation worse." The woman said the call to Barron Trump was a sign from God as she explained to jurors how Barron would call her. She told jurors he would call me and that she missed a few from him before the call, which eventually connected and led to him calling the police. "He helped save my life." That was like a call from God at that moment. So again, shout out to Barron Trump for getting on the call and helping her out, saving her life. There we go. All right. Now, let's go to Gavin. Let's go to Gavin. And this is him at the World Economic Forum at Davos, Switzerland. Now, this video is interesting. I want you guys to watch it and let me know if you see anything that's a little bit off, a little bit strange, maybe stranger than usual. Let's watch.
Speech. You were obviously named by President Trump during that speech. Yeah. What was your reaction to what he had to say about you?
None. I think he said something very different last night. I didn't hear new scum. I heard new green scam. But I mean, come on, it was remarkably boring. It was remarkably insignificant. He was never going to invade Greenland. It was never real. So that was always a fade. And so he says, well, we should negotiate. Well, everybody here has been willing to negotiate for a year. So it had fire and fury, signified absolutely nothing. Even by Trump standards, I was rather curious. And there was boorish parts of it, but those were not even that consequential, including name-checking people he likes, people he didn't like. So, I was a little disappointed. It was a little nonplussed.
Did it stand out to you that he said Iceland multiple times when he was talking about Greenland?
And that every time a windmill turns, it costs $1,000. A lot of stuff stands out. None of this is normalized. There's a normalization of deviancy and consciousness and, comments and commentary. No other president, he's held to the curve. He's graded on a curve. I mean, it's really some jaw-dropping and remarkable statements that just, fly in the face of facts and evidence and common sense. So, but you've heard them over and over and over again. Again, for the European audience, that may have been a new speech. My God, there wasn't anything new about that speech for the American audience.
Okay, there we go. So that's Gavin out there in Davos. Now, what I want to hear is Gavin go up there and speak. The thing about Trump, he's 80 years old and he's going nonstop. And at a certain point, you can only do so much. Let this have been Joe Biden. Would he be able to be out there with all that vim and vigor? I think not. Joe Biden would be in the bed. Joe Biden would phone it in at best. He wasn't going to be out there actually talking. They kept Joe Biden in the basement during the campaign, and they tried to do that throughout his presidency as well. So I give Trump a little bit of leniency for saying Iceland rather than Greenland. It's an easy mix-up to make. So there we go. That's Gavin Newsom. I don't know, man. What kind of drugs are you on, though, bro? Some kind of upper? Because your eye, like your whole eye area is like really open. Do you see reality in front of you or do you see something else? That's what I want to know. What does Gavin Newsom see right here? But anyway, let's keep on going. Let's get into more of the whole Davos situation. And speaking about Davos, here is Scott Picent speaking about Davos and Gavin. Here's Scott Picent talking about Gavin.
I think it's very, very ironic that Governor Newsom, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris. He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros. And Davos is a perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals at the French Laundry. And I'm sure the California people won't forget that. And I can tell my message to Governor Newsom is the Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. And I was told he was asked to give a speech on his signature policies, but he's not speaking because what have his economic policies brought? Outward migration from California, a gigantic budget deficit, the largest homeless population in America, and the poor folks in the Palisades who had their homes burned down. He is here hobnobbing with the global elite while his California citizens are still homeless. Shame on him. He is too smug, too self-absorbed, and too economically illiterate to know anything.
Thank you very much.
Let me know if you need any further clarification.
Nah, man, you pretty much got it, man. You pretty much got it all right there. I don't need no further clarification about nothing, man. Hey, Scott Bessent, that is our Treasury Secretary right there. Hey, I like him a lot. Hey, Scott, I need you to be in the next administration as well. Don't go nowhere, bro. Hey, keep Scott around. Do not let him go. When Trump is done and we get Marco or JD, maybe. I like JD. But when we get Marco, please keep Scott Bessent in there. That was masterfully done. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Hey, you got a good team over there, Trump. You got a really good team. Now, let's get into Emmanuel Macron. Okay, with the sunglasses on inside.
China is welcome, but what we need is more Chinese foreign direct investment in Europe, in some key sectors to contribute to our growth, to transfer some technologies, and not just to export towards Europe some devices or products which sometimes don't have the same standards or are much more subsidized as the one being produced in Europe.
Okay, so that's, again, the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. Now, they said the reason why he was wearing the glasses is because he had a popped blood vessel in his eye, and the eye just looked real bad. But I think maybe his wife did something to him because we've seen this happen before. We've seen it happen. I don't know if I can find a video right now while I'm talking, but we've seen this happen where, okay, I think I got it right here. Yeah, this is it. So we saw where he got slapped by his wife before. And I don't know why he's getting beat up allegedly by his wife, but we saw it. Now, this was when they went to Vietnam and they're about to disembark the plane. And you can see what's happening right here. I'm going to just turn the sound off. You see that right there? See the hand coming out? That is Brigitte. I don't know her name, and anything else beyond her name being Brigitte and her being her, I don't know nothing about it, okay? But boom, there we go. They go to mush right there, and he's trying to play it off. And here they come out of the actual aircraft. There's talking, the slow motion, boom. He's like, oh, man, and I'm on camera, hey. And then he turns back like, oh, man, they got that on camera. So they're leaving the plane. This was last year. This is like, I want to say May of last year or something like this. Again, in Vietnam. This is not at Davos, but it shows a pattern of behavior. He's trying to get the arm. She's not getting the arm. You saw that little body language? Look. You can see him kind of like bend his arm. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it. He bent his arm like that to try and get her to latch onto his arm, but she didn't do it. See, watch. Looking around, and then here comes the arm. And nope. Okay, we're just going to walk down like that. Okay. There we go. So, yeah. Do you guys think that his wife beat him up? That's why he had the glasses on to hide a black eye or the pop blood vessel or something else? Like, what's going on? Is she badly built? Hey, y'all know. I don't know nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy talking. I don't know nothing. And of course, Trump commented on the glasses kerfuffle. Let's check this out.
Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened?
So you know, Trump gonna say something about that. You know, the speech might not be about that at all, but Trump gonna say it. Hey, he gonna get them. Like I said, it's like your grandma. She gonna say whatever she gonna say. What you gonna do? She gonna say it, and you just gonna just accept it. Okay, now here he is talking about Greenland, and maybe they don't like the way you said this right here. But again, Trump gonna say what he's gonna say, and what you gonna do about it? Nothing. Let's watch.
So we want a piece of ice.
And I'm sorry, RIP to the headphone users. You heard that right there. We want a piece of ice.
So we want a piece of ice for world protection, and they won't give it. We've never asked for anything else, and we could have kept that piece of land, and we didn't. So they have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember. So we want a piece of ice for world protection.
Now, what he said about we had it and we gave it back, we did have it at one point. And if you guys history buffs, let me know when we had it. It might have been during one of the wars, if I'm not mistaken. But we had it for a while and we gave it back to the Danish. But remember, we bought some things from the Danish before. We bought the Virgin Islands from the Danish because they fell off. They're not really a colonial power anymore. They fell off. Like the French. The French, they fell off too. The only colonial powers that got any kind of relevance, maybe UK, maybe Spain, but that's about it. And I think at this point, the Spanish former colonies are pretty much autonomous. They don't really need Spain. I don't know who else. Maybe UK might be the only one. And they hanging on because they pretty much have become Afghanistan in the real world. Speaking about the United Kingdom itself. All right, let's keep on going here. Let's keep rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up.
Well,
now, apparently, there has been some sort of deal reached with Greenland. Some sort of deal or the framework of a deal, the outline of a deal. Whatever it is, Trump appears to be pretty happy with it. And you know how Trump is. Trump will just shoot for the stars and land on the moon. Trump going to say, look, we want that piece of ice by choice or by force. Give it up. What you going to do? He'll say that, but then let's talk. Let's have a conversation. What can we do? What kind of deal can we reach? If we can get a deal that I like, then we're good money. But let's watch this.
Well, we have a concept of a deal. I think it's going to be a very good deal for the United States, also for them. And we're going to work together on something having to do with the Arctic as a whole, but also Greenland. And it has to do with the security, great security, strong security, and other things.
The market, 600 points, getting back a lot of some of the nervousness we had in the last couple of days. The tariffs are off. Nothing happens on February 1st.
No, we took that off because it looks like we have pretty much a concept of a deal.
A deal of ownership, a deal...
Well, it's a little bit complex, but we'll explain it down the line. But the Secretary General of NATO and I and some other people were talking, and it's the kind of a deal that I wanted to be able to make.
Where does Denmark, did they weigh in on what they want, what they would agree to?
Well, I assume they did because he very much represents, he's a strong leader. Mark, you know Mark, Rutte. And he, I assume he's been speaking to them. He's been speaking to all of them.
Are mineral rights involved? Is ownership involved? Did the Golden Dome sway people?
I don't want to say yet, but...
The Golden Dome was very compelling today when you talked about that.
Yeah, the Golden Dome, and they're going to be involved in the Golden Dome. And they're going to be involved in mineral rights, and so are we.
It's not specific enough to know at this point how long this lasts, whether it's...
Forever.
Forever.
It'll be forever.
For Greenland at this point.
Yeah. Forever.
That's staggering.
That's better than a 99-year.
This is what, 2 hours after.
It's better than the Obama deal with the famous Iran nuclear deal with a 9-year deal. No, this is forever. This is a long term.
There we go. So, hey, we're going to get the details of the deal, the whole thing. We're going to figure that out and see what it is. I think maybe they didn't want to give up total sovereignty, or they didn't want to. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm excited to see what the deal is. I'm excited to see how this helps us going forward. So there we go. For life. You heard that. Okay, now we got a few more things from Trump and Davos. I got quite a few Trump clips in Davos. And I think somebody said it earlier. Trump gave 0 Fs at Davos on today or yesterday or whenever these clips said, really, when they were produced. Probably today, mostly. He didn't really care. It's like, yo, I'm going to say what I got to say. He's talking about the person who may own Toyota. Okay, let's check it out.
650 billion. I mean, it's so many. One just announced 10 billion. Toyota. Met Mr. Toyota in Japan. So what's your name? Toyota. I said, oh, do you own the car company? Yes, 92%. I said, you didn't have to be that specific. But I said, you're rich. Yes, I'm rich. But he just announced he's going to do $10 billion worth of plants. I mean, it's amazing what's going on. Look, it's amazing. We've never had anything like it. Or 650 billion.
There we go. So shout out to Mr. Toyota. Imagine owning 92% of Toyota. That's crazy. That is something right there. But yeah, shout out to Mr. Toyota. Hey, 92%. Yo, if I owned 92% of Toyota, I'm gonna flex that. It's like, yeah, 92%. What you mean? I got money. I got big money. Okay, now here's Trump talking about Marco, praising our guy Marco. I think at this point I can say that we all love Marco Rubio. I want Marco to be the president 2028. JD Vance is cool. Okay, I get it. But Marco's the guy. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. And he's not 6 foot tall and the whole thing. That's not my standard. That's the standard of most normies. But I think his performance on the field, so to speak, trumps everything else, in my humble opinion. No pun intended. But let's watch this. And let's check it out. Here we go.
I became a diplomat for the first time. Well, you know who taught me that? Marco Rubio. He said, let me teach you about diplomacy. Hey, any guy that gets approved by 100% of the votes, think of it, he got liberal Democrats and radical right Republicans to approve him. He's the only one. The next one was lost 45 votes, right? But he got all 100 votes voting for him. And at first I wasn't happy about it. I said, wait a minute, I don't like that. And now it turns out that the Democrats probably wish they didn't do that. And Marco has been fantastic. Marco, stand up, please. You have done a great job as Secretary of State. He's going to go down as the best Secretary of State. And I became a diplomat.
Right on. So shout out Marco Rubio. Definitely a great Secretary of State, if not the best. I like Marco. I like him. Now, again, the whole tall thing, again, that's not me saying that. That's just, as I said before, for a little bit of context for people that might be new. I said before that most presidents have been above 6 foot tall. And the last one who was not was Jimmy Carter. I think he might have been 5'10", 5'11". But all the presidents are above between 6 foot and really like right around like my height, like 6'2", 6'3". That's pretty much what they've been. HW, Obama, Slick Willie, Trump, Reagan, all of them been between 6'1", 6'2", and 6'3", like right around that same range. That's just the reality. People see that height of a person as a leader. That's just the reality. That's not my reality, but it's just the reality of our country. It is what it is. Now, we got some numbers as far as what we've done with cutting a lot of the debt, the waste, the fraud, the abuse. Let's check it out.
In 12 months, we have removed over 270,000 bureaucrats from the federal payrolls, the largest single-year reduction in government employment since the end of World War II. Nobody thought that was coming, but we had no choice. To make a country great, you can't have all federal jobs. We've cut federal spending by $100 billion and slashed the federal budget deficit by 27% in the single year. It's going to go down quite a bit more from that, driving inflation way down from the record highs of the Biden administration. Every month, they went up and up and up. I promised to cut 10 old regulations for every single new regulation. But instead, I've cut actually till this point 129 regulations for every one new regulation approved. So every time they come in with a new regulation, we do at least 10, but so far it's averaging out to 129, if you can believe it. In July, we passed the largest tax cuts in American history, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. We also provided 100% expensing. That's the one they like. And bonus depreciation for all new equipment and capital investments to help companies expand and shift production to America. They are so in love with that. They build a plant, they're able to deduct it immediately, the whole thing, rather than waiting 38 to 41 years in the old days. This is a miracle taking place. Nobody thought it would ever be done by any country, but it's done by us. It was what made my first term the most successful 4-year term that we've ever had from a financial standpoint. And now we've upped it. This is a 10-year program, not a 1-year program. But you're allowed to deduct everything in 1 year. It used to be 38 to 41 years.
So there we go. We got some good numbers now. The main thing that I heard was at the very beginning. How many people were kicked off of, how many bureaucrats in the federal government were shed? Because that was the thing. Okay, how many people are we going to get to leave or fire from the federal government? And let's hit it one more time. Just that number.
In 12 months, we have removed over 270,000 bureaucrats from the federal payrolls.
270,000. That's a lot. That is a lot. And if the government is able to operate just fine without those people on the rolls getting paid, then it makes sense to go ahead and it made a lot of sense to go ahead and do that because nothing has really stopped. I don't know about y'all. Now, I don't know all the government's inner workings. My life every day has not changed. My life has not changed. I think things are going pretty well. Now, I could be wrong. There could be some things that's happening that I don't know about that are affecting certain things in this country. But as far as I know, those people were not needed to keep the country going. And I hope they were able to find work and everything's good and they get their money, severance package, and it's all good. I wish them well. But as Trump said earlier, your economy cannot just be government jobs. That's just not the way that it works. You got to actually be able to go out there in the private sector at a certain point and do something. Okay.
So now
here's about some of that warfare that we did. One of the main things we did was them weapons in Venezuela we unleashed, that sonic weapon or whatever we had. That's now a thing that is spreading all throughout Latin America as far as the message that it sends. Hey, you mess with the Americans, you don't know what they got. You coming in there with your regular weaponry, they got some irregular weaponry. We have some irregular weaponry that you're not ready for, so don't even try it. And we want to be peaceful now. We're not just trying to bully people, but don't try it. Don't try to be the tough guy, as Fredo said earlier.
So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody...
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me put it on the screen.
So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare that I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up. There was one that went up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess. So now our country...
They're going to have to. What's the other alternative? Go back to the drawing board, figure it out. And really, I mean, what drawing board you're going to be able to conjure up is going to fight against things you've not seen before. Okay? Hopefully they don't try to send no spy, fang, fang, yum, yum, and get no secrets that way. That'd be disastrous. Okay, here he is talking about Canada. Hey, Mr. What's his name? Was it Mark Carney? Make sure I'm saying the right thing. Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada. Hey, Mark Carney, watch your mouth. Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, watch your mouth.
Going to be defending Canada. Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Hey, the next time you talk, Mark, hey, watch your mouth. That's what I heard. Okay, because without us, y'all ain't nothing. So watch your mouth. Hey, man, Trump, look, man, it's my last term. I'm about to be out of here. I don't care. I'm going to say what I got to say. And that's it. It is what it is. All right, but shout out to President Trump over there at Davos, Switzerland. I'll probably do a video specifically about what Trump said at the actual summit. I don't know how long it's going to be there, if he'll make any more statements, but that's pretty much that on that. And I got one more video to show you how Switzerland looks. Okay, show you how it looks in Switzerland, and then we're going to get to some calls. But if you like what you are hearing tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'd help me out tremendously.
Are you?
All right, let's check it out.
You're in a new country, and you're like, damn, why am I not living here? I'm in Switzerland. Look at this. Look at this mountain. Look at the whole entire city of Switzerland. This doesn't look at this dove. He looks not real. Like, this looks too good to be true. I don't understand. It's so damn. Look at the actual city itself. Like, look at the Rolex. There's times when I'm like, ¿Por qué no am I here?
All right, I don't know what we talking about. Young boy got some kind of autism going on. But nah, this looks very nice. Now, if you're in Switzerland, if you're in Davos specifically, it's very expensive. Very, very expensive. So you want to go there and call yourself trying to live and all of that, you better have some money on, because it's going to cost you. You know, it is beautiful out there, but very expensive. All right. Now, not all of Europe is the same exact way. Let me show you Russia right quick. This is like a regular Russian apartment. Okay, so the woman says my Russian grandma lives in the same apartment she's had since the 60s, because what the Russians did was build housing for people. That's what they want to happen here, right? Government housing. So they have government housing, because a lot of them were like just working and stuff like this. So they just made the homes for the workers. But let's take a look at her apartment in Russia.
My Russian grandma lives in the same apartment Soviet Union gave her in 1965. The elevator barely fits 3 people, and its doors will catch you in half if you're slow. Every room has a different Soviet carpet, and they're all older than me. Every apartment installs their own massive vault-style metal door. The bathroom and the toilet are separate rooms, so you don't have to wait on your husband. And you can save money on faucets. The same one works for the sink and the bathtub. It's freezing for about 8 months of the year, so my grandma uses her balcony as a walk-in refrigerator for food. And to make sure that you're safe, every Soviet building also comes with grandma security system at the entrance and dozens of Orthodox icons all around the apartment. My Russian
So there you go. So much different over in Russia from Switzerland. Much different. All right. Depending upon where you are in Europe, it could be way different. All right. You living in London, like even in UK, London is one thing, but out in the countryside, much different. Yeah, communism, right? That's how it is. You're gonna be in them Russian blocks. And it's going to get real cold. It's going to get real cold in a place like that. Yeah, the elevator is something else. And AKM, listen, I might not be able to fit in the elevator. I'm a Western guy. I might not fit. They want them Europeans that's like 5'11" and 100 pounds soaking wet to be in there. I might not fit. It's going to be rough in that kind of escalated elevator. But if you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. We got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, the number to call is 706-406-3287. The number will always be in the description. And there it is. Perfect timing. There we go. And I took her below me in the video, 706-406-3287. Before that, I got super chats I'm going to read. Then we're going to get to the calls. Okay. Shout out to Mauricio, who says, my money's on 10 minutes late at night. Give my boy some time to meditate. You know, he on a higher level. Thank you, Mauricio. I appreciate it. Thank you to Cowboys 742 for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, I hear reports ICE have done false arrests. Comments, I don't think I've heard that. And what is a false arrest? Where somebody is arrested who was the wrong person? I want to know what that is. Thank you to Leo Mazzina, who says, why are leftists so upset about President Trump getting Greenland when there have been past presidents who tried doing that? Whatever Trump does, they're going to be mad at. Just like the whole thing with Tom Homan. Tom Homan was the border czar or the border patrol guy under Obama, and he reported more deportations in 2012 than he did as Trump's border guy in 2025 by, 115,000. By a margin of 115 to 120,000. It was never a problem under Obama, although you deported more doing the exact same kind of tactics, but it's now a problem because it's Donald Trump. That's the only reason why it's an issue with Greenland. Thank you to Apple, who says Tina Peters set up in prison, now solitary. Thank you to Apple, who says free Tina Peters immediately, like right now. Thank you to Apple, who says thoughts on Harry Sasquatch, Blue Falcon in church. But we covered that, the protest, so-called protesters. Thank you to the white man, who says love the show with the peace sign. Thank you for that. Thank you to the white man for gifting 5 ABL memberships. Thank you to Mauricio91, who says, who said please send the black man to jail? Hold on. Mauricio says, who said please send the black man to jail under the KKK Act on MLK Day? I felt that low key. Hey, one of y'all said that in the comments. You guys are very, very smart in the comment section. Shout out to y'all. Thank you to Apple again, who says William Kelly, the woke farmer, is a big bully. He is. Mauricio says America first is everything laid out in Trump's national security policy in 2025. Thank you to Julia, who says T. Reagan reported Trump made Greenland deal today, and we covered that. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you to Gregortron, who says they insurrected that church. They sure did. Thank you to Mauricio, who says, why is that demon in the man's face like that? I'll show you, not Christian. That's how they are. That's how they are. Mauricio says 2019, 2026, the great gaslighting. Correct. Thank you to Lothair, who says the 11 rules of Earth, Anton LaVey, Rule 3 on show respect and another's home, layer, or avoid going there. What's this? Who's this Anton LaVey dude? Is that like your Satanist people? I don't do with that. Yeah. I don't do with that. But anyway, don't go to nobody's house like that. Thank you to, hold on. Thank you to Lanita, who says, in my church in Detroit, we lay hands to cast out demons. If he puts his hands on the saints, it's up. In the name of the Son, Father, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen and amen. Amen and amen. Thank you to Lanita, who says, TDS has people prophesying untimely passing. Wow. Crazy, right? Lenina says, I can't wait for Jay Kroc to lose and disappear. Right on. All righty. Let's get to some the phone calls. And the phone lines are open. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Number's right there in the ticker below me on the video. Also always in the description box under the video. All right. Hey, go to a church and you got the wrong church. They're going to lay hands on you. They're going to lay hands and fists and feet on you in the name of Jesus. And I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Hey, you could be a peaceful church, but you also got to be a church that got some sense. You got to be a church that protects your flock. Okay. Amen. Protect the flock. And sometimes protecting the flock means you got to, hey man, let a smack down on somebody right quick. You call yourself barging in the church, talking about some, You guys got all these pretty clothes. The craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. 859 on the line. How much we get to?
Church. All right, ABL. How's it going? Sorry, gotta turn that down. I saw you're in the background. My bad, dude. What's up with you, ABL, tonight?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
All right. It's your Luciferian Libertarian friend, anti-Levant combination of Ami on Malay. What's up? I'm just token, working as usual, trying to hit up on some tips and working as usual, man. I've been watching the show. Why is the liberals acting like a bunch of crazy burn the witch kind of types? It's weird. We're living in clown world, my brother.
Yeah, it's really crazy, but these people are not, they don't know anything. They're just low information, and a lot of them are being paid to believe a certain thing. So we're just dealing with people that don't really live in reality.
You were absolutely right. See, and this is the thing is, back in the day when I was younger, going to concerts, and I remember my family members were like super religious. They would condemn me, shove their religion down the throat. And no offense to people who believe what they believe in. I'm all for freedom of religion, and as long as you're not bothering me, I don't bother you, and I'm all for that. But Don Lemon's acting like Tipper Gore from the PMRC. He's acting like the Westboro Baptist Church. He's acting like a religious nut, shoving his religious viewpoints down people's throat with his SJW belief system. And it's silly. They're accusing this pastor of being an ICE agent. So what if he is? It's a job,
Right, exactly.
And plus, at the same time, just because a few ICE agents have done questionable things doesn't represent all ICE agents. There are some ICE agents, like you said, that you've seen online that arrested like child predators and stuff like that. And there's some, granted, have done some things, but there's cases of cops doing bad things as well. They're just picking on ICE because it's a new thing, it's a new click thing because the media tells them to think that way, and it's silly.
Yeah, because ICE has been around for a long time. They were doing the exact same things under Barack Obama, and it was never a problem. But now all of a sudden it's a problem.
And it's silly because all of a sudden now they want to block traffic. Now they want to cause chaos and violence against government officials when the media tells them to that. And this is the one thing I'm kind of irritated from. Why is it the media is not held accountable by these violent actions, the riots, this destruction? And this is silly that it seems like it's more of a media, it's more like a battle against media and for truth over just political ideology at this point.
Right on.
Yeah, I can disagree with you. Me and you, we would have disagreements on a lot of things, especially I'm a libertarian, especially you're more conservative. And it's silly. They're trying to control language. They're legit fascist almost. Like even trying to talk to like a different radio station that like on the left, trying to talk to them like politically. They're so concerned about language, these them pronouns. It's like I can't even have a conversation with them. It's sad.
It really is. But people, they're closed off, they're closed-minded, and that kind of person you can't talk to.
Now, that is true. That is true, man. Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking my phone call. I'm going to hit a blinker or two. Hey, I'm going to talk it up, man. Hey, 420, talk to you guys later.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Hey, and guess what, man? Hey, ABL, I always follow that principle. I always respect other people's layers, property, and area. So thank you very much for taking my phone call, and much love to you. Bye.
All right, shout out to him for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Shout out to you guys again for watching. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. That'd be hilarious if they get Don Lemon on the KKK Act. That'd be hilarious. I mean, it'd be fitting, and it'd just kind of symbolize what the left has become. The left believe that they are the good guys. That's what they think, but they are not. They are most certainly not the good guys at all. All right, but shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helps me out tremendously. And you know what? I'm looking at right here. I'm seeing a lot of you guys will call me on off show days and send messages, but this is not my phone number. So if you guys are calling me, it's going to go to this, a whole different thing. It don't go to my phone at all. I only answer this phone when I'm on the show. So if you call and leave a message, that's fine. But you can't call the number and talk to me any other time except for when the show is on. All right, I'm going to read some of the comments here. Again, the number to call, 706-406-3287. The number is always in the description, also in the ticker below me on the actual video on the screen. Yeah, it's so weird. The things that were totally fine under Obama now all of a sudden are an issue. And then when you try to point it out, they want to just totally ignore it. It's like, nah, let's not ignore that. Let's talk about it for real. Why was it okay under Barack Obama and now all of a sudden it's not? What has changed? What's the difference? What is the key that has made you shift from one line of thinking to another? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I don't listen to the messages mostly, and the messages I can see the messages because they're transcribed. You know, so I can see them before. Some of them are transcribed, but not all of them are transcribed. But a lot of them are. So I can kind of see what's there a little bit. It's kind of like they kind of come up like emails a little bit. They kind of come up like emails, but I might listen to some of these and see what's going on with them for sure. But I also get a lot of emails from you guys, and shout out to the person that sent me the email. And I put it up. Did I put it up on my community section? I may have. I know I put it up on my social media. I put it up on my Facebook and stuff like this. But one of you guys sent me an email saying that I helped you from having your house burned down. I think I showed that on the stream. But let's go to the next call here. Let's go to, who am I speaking to you online? 917.
Hi, ABL. It's Corinne from NYC.
All righty. What's going on?
Yeah, you know, I was calling because I was thinking about how everybody is saying how it's kind of silly, wacky, how leftists are upset about things that were done and not even as harshly under the Obama administration, and they don't even understand why they're upset now and they weren't upset then.
Absolutely. It's crazy, but you know, I think we could figure it out. It's because it's Trump. It doesn't matter what Trump does. Trump could go into a tree himself and save a cat. And they're going to say, why would you do that? You put yourself at risk. You're not going to have a president, but he saved the cat. There's always something wrong with what he does because it's him.
Right. Yeah, so true. It just reminds me of that episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back in the day, where he made that comment on the show. I think the line was, they're always blaming me for something or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, it never changes. People just mad. They just, even when they loved him and they was putting him in all the rap songs, people liked him and admired him, you know? But people just still gonna be mad. They still just gonna hate.
Yeah, the hate is real, and people and the hate is not even real. It's just from the outside because they think they're supposed to hate, so they do.
Right. Yeah, like people that actually know him. I remember a few years back, Candace was saying to somebody, you should actually have a conversation with him. He's funny. You know, people that actually know him well and are friends with him, they say the same. Charlie Kirk used to say it. He's a funny guy. He's real. I'm from New York. He's just a regular New York guy. You know, he's got a great sense of humor. I think if these people that claim they hate him so much because of the media, I think if they actually met him and had a real conversation with him, up close and personal, they'd probably be charmed by the dude.
Oh, of course. That's usually how it goes. When people talk to you in person, it's a lot of that stuff. It kind of goes away. And I've had that happen to me, where it's like somebody that might have been trolling me on the internet. I met him in person, and then it was none of this negativity, no hatred. All of a sudden, right. They're my best friend now. All of a sudden, funny how that works.
Right, funny. But it's funny too when you watch all these old episodes before his successful run in 2016 of him on these different shows, you know, of people that are have so much hatred for him now when he's on these talk shows and stuff and talking to regular people that hate him so much now that probably would never invite him back. They liked him. They're laughing with him. He put out a book think that was, when did he put that book out? 22, 21, where he exposed all of these letters from different celebrities where they're praising him and saying he's a great guy.
Oh yeah. It's like that. It was like that. Nobody had a problem with him. He was everybody's best friend. Same thing with Bill and Hillary, going to their house all the time, hanging out with them, dinner parties. But now I'm the bad guy because I'm on the other side. Oh, okay, I see.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I was thinking it would be kind of amusing. I don't know if this has been done. I don't watch everything, but I was just thinking how funny and amusing this is. Like if there was some sort of man on the street type of interview, or go to campuses, especially with the brain deads. Yeah, some type of man on the street thing where you just ask people, hey, how do you feel about what Trump's doing, blah, blah, blah. And then you name all these things, you ask them about all these things that are policies and stuff that are being done, but they're actually not things that were done under any Trump administration. They were things done under Biden administration or Obama. So then when they're like, you tell them, oh, what, how do you feel about what Trump's doing, blah, 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 and then state these things that were done under Biden or Obama, and you see them expose their TDS, and then at the end, you're just like, oh, actually, you know what? That was actually Obama who did that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, exactly. It's always funny seeing those videos because that just shows you that they're not really worried about what you're talking about. It's all about just who did it. If it's Obama that did it, it don't matter. Okay, you can drone strike civilians, drone strike little kids in the foreign countries. Yeah. It's totally fine. But let Obama, let Trump try to keep the border secure. Now we got an issue.
Yes. So I just think it's funny. I guess they have done things like that. I just find it funny because then you would be able to clearly expose that it's not about what the thing is, the policy. It's just that you're attaching it to Trump. And the media is telling you to hate him so much. You have all this emotion towards him, and it's not even about what's being done. It's not about Greenland. It's not about nothing. It's just that you just want to hate Trump. So anything.
Exactly. 100%.
Other than that, yeah, I mean, the whole Greenland thing is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm just listening to the show. Just wanted to call in, say hello, and I'm going to let you take some other calls. But thank you so much.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Have a good night, ABL.
All right. Great call. Shout out to the caller. Shout out to all you guys for rocking and rolling with me tonight. You guys are the best. But yeah, it's always funny. I've seen some of those videos where they try to say, well, hey, this was actually done under Obama. And then they start, yeah, exactly. Because it was never about the thing. It's about who did the thing that you're concerned about. You want to allow me to speak to 857?
Hey, ABL, man. I guess the people that you put on those videos don't know so much about immigration, huh?
Who are you talking about?
Well, I guess it was. I mean, I just saw it randomly. I guess they were saying that if you don't like immigration law, they should change it. And people they're protesting. Well, number one is you got to understand most people don't understand immigration. Even you have no idea what immigration is.
Oh, why you say that?
Well, what is the what? Okay, let's first thing first. What is the role of an immigration officer approaching an some illegal alien? What is the role that he can do? What he cannot do?
What is the rule or the role?
What is the law? The law in an immigration act. Let's say you see somebody sitting down talking in Spanish to another person, two people talking in Spanish, then an immigration officer could come in and question their documentation for their documents.
I don't know. You tell me.
No, they cannot. They don't have the right to do so.
Okay.
Got it? No.
Okay, so what law is that?
Read the Immigration Act. They cannot do that.
Okay, so is it only one law that says what you can do in a situation?
Yeah, they cannot do. At least you have a probable cause. You have a probable cause. Let's say that XYZ person have a deportation removal letter, and it worked in XYZ location, and you have the picture of the person and look like the person that is talking in Spanish, then you could approach him and ask for documentation. The Trump administration is doing everything wrong. Everything is wrong. The first to start, you cannot approach anyone randomly and ask for documentation because they cannot prove you that you're a citizen. They cannot prove you. You cannot prove me that you're a U.S. citizen by your ID because there's no data connected between immigration and your state local level. So when you register your ID or your license, immigration don't get that information, so they don't know who you are. Do you know that, right?
I'm not sure I believe that.
Dude, immigration don't have any information about you unless you have a passport.
Okay,
That's the only way they have
excuse me,
information.
hold on, wait now. If you're a citizen, okay, I'm a citizen, right? And I have my ID. They should be able to tell from that I'm a citizen, correct?
No, they can't tell you because in order to get your ID, some states don't require to show your birth certificate. Some states show you that they only could show like a bill or a school ID, and you could get your local ID with that. So there's no communication. There's no data that they have for different states in the United States. For let's say you live in New York, they don't have that data. Your birth certificate, they don't have that data. Even your show birth certificate, they still don't have that data. That's why they got to be a probable cause. If there's not a probable cause, they cannot approach you and ask you.
So
that's why they are arresting people.
Okay,
they are citizens.
Okay. So it's a state to state issue then.
You
said state. So okay, so there's some states where you're able to tell if I'm a citizen based on my ID, correct?
No, they can't.
But you just said that it's about different states. So why did you say that? Okay, we got a third party. What's going on, boss? You want to get on the phone?
Okay, all right. No, you need more. You need to read more information. That's the problem.
Okay.
All right, you just don't understand that.
So how you feel about Tom Homan? You like Tom Homan?
Yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Do you like him?
I think that Holman is getting the energy from Trump and is doing certain things that he should not do, violating the constitutional rights of the individuals that live in all over the United States, and he's not doing the job properly. And like I told you, the most efficient way to do this, they got to go to the different jobs. They get the E-Verify, the information that the employees. When they get information from the employees, they get the they could check it with the E-Verify, so they will know who's working illegally or not. They could go to the Justice Department, so they will know who get out of jail and who is a legal citizen or not, or who will have a permanent resident, who have whatever. But if you ask people randomly in the streets, how do you know that?
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
I'm asking you a question.
Now, but that's not how it works. I'm gonna just ask you a question. So about the whole asking somebody on the street who they are, what do you think the percentage is of people who get asked who they are with no prior knowledge, no picture, no charge, versus those who they already know to be in the country illegally? What's the percentage?
Yeah, but then in order
answer the question, please. Answer the question, please.
I don't know the percent.
Okay.
Even if the vast majority are illegal, you're still violating the constitutional right of those people because there's no probable cause, and you violated the constitutional right of those who are permanent residents on those who are U.S. citizens.
So since you don't know, let's just say 5% are approached just off the street with nothing before, and 95%. Excuse me, and 95% are those who they already know. So excuse me.
How do you know?
I said if. Be quiet, please. I said if. I said you don't know. I don't know. I'm saying if. Because you don't know. Because I asked you, you say you don't know. So if 5% are the ones who are being approached off the street randomly, and 95% are the ones who are known, would you be cool with them just stopping the 5% and keeping 95% the way it was? Yes or no?
No, I won't be cool, because then you could create a problem like they did today. They broke into 4 houses They didn't ask the people that were living in those houses. They didn't ask for the ID. They just took people into custody. And that's a tyrannical government. You don't do that in America.
Okay, so did they take?
Wait.
Look, I can out talk you and loud talk you, so you can't talk over me. You know that already. So, okay, now did they get who they needed to get? Did they get the criminals? Like, what's going on?
I'm sure they got some criminals.
Oh, okay.
I know they got some criminals.
Okay. So what's the problem?
So what about those people that they are U.S. citizens? Because remember, they're already targeting Somalis because that's what Trump told him to do. So
they're not just targeting Somalis. They're not just targeting. They're targeting a lot of different people. We're talking to everybody here illegally. They're not just targeting Somalis. And the issue with the Somalis, not even necessarily the illegal immigration, it's the fraud. That's the biggest issue with the Somalis. It's the fraud that they do, not necessarily the illegal immigration. So you're incorrect.
So let me. This is how dumb you are. So CBP, Border Patrol, gonna go into businesses run by Somalis, and they wanna front fraud. You're the ignorant person to say that. That's the FBI job. That's not the job of Homeland Security.
I did not say. Excuse me. I did not say that Border Patrol was going after those. I said that the issue with Somalis is the fraud. I did not say. But excuse me. I did not say what agency would be go after them for the fraud. I just said that the biggest issue with the fraudsters of Somalis.
So let me try to help. I'm trying to help you out because you struggle when you argue with me.
Okay.
You are
go
not
ahead.
prepared to this conversation. You struggle.
Okay.
Why the President of the United States we send 2,000 ICE agents to Minnesota to target Somalis, and we sent 2,000 more to Maine to target Somalis in Maine because there's a huge population of Somalis in Maine. Why you don't send them to Texas? Why you don't send them to Arizona? Why you don't send? Don't you think there would be more illegal immigrants work in Texas? Send them to the farms where they're in Texas. You know why he wasn't doing it? You know why?
Well, how many agents are in Texas?
I'm asking you. Do you know why?
No. Because you're saying something that you just assuming to be true, but you don't know if it is or not. You just in your mind you think it makes sense. But listen. You're not. See, that's why you're retarded because you don't understand this basic thing. Because you see a surge in Maine and Minnesota of ICE agents, but you don't know how many are already in a place like Texas. Do you know that answer? Yes or no?
Texas is the largest state that Maine and Minnesota.
Excuse me, I say yes or no. Do you know how many are there? Yes or no?
I can't tell you by numbers. I don't know, but I could tell you by logic.
So what are you saying?
I could tell you by logic. You know why I could tell you by logic?
What logic are you talking about?
Okay, most Somalis that come into this country come under the Refugee Act. So
you're not addressing my point. The point was you said that there's a surge in Maine and Minnesota, and why don't they focus on Texas? But you don't know how many are in Texas already. That's why you're retarded because you don't understand the way math works.
No, there are not that many in Texas. He said it. The surge is going to be in Minnesota.
You're not listening. That's why you see. But see, this is the retardation I'm talking about. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You're talking about a surge. And you say, well, why isn't that happening in Texas? But you don't know how many are in Texas already. If there's a lot in Texas already, why do they need a surge? You see?
There are not too many in Texas. You know what the...
Okay, but you just said you don't know how many are in Texas.
Do you know what the head of the guy that's walking with I think he Gespo. I don't know his name. I don't remember his name. You know what he said?
Well, who said?
I think his name is Gespo. The guy that is leading the immigration thing with the ICE.
Okay, what
did
he say?
You know what he said?
What did he say?
He said we focus. You know what he said? We're gonna focus in Minnesota and Maine and California because the president says so. So whatever Trump says, they'll say where they're going.
Okay.
So they're not focusing in Texas and Arizona.
Again, you don't know.
That's what I know.
See, you don't know how many are already in Texas.
Oh my!
You don't really get it.
Look, you don't get it. You all prepared to the debate. You want to debate with me instead to listen when I'm telling to you. To listen to a person that's more educated about your immigration.
Oh, is that right? You're a smart guy.
You have no idea about immigration.
Okay. All right. Well, have a nice day. Thank you for the call.
Tell me what.
Go ahead. Last point.
Okay, immigration is a criminal or is a civil enforcement?
It depends on the situation. It depends if they got a crime.
No, it's a civil enforcement.
It depends if they got a crime. It depends if they got a crime because if they got a crime already, then that's going to be a criminal enforcement. If you got an illegal alien charged with child sex trafficking, is that criminal or civil? Tell me.
It's a civil enforcement because their job is to get
If you have an illegal alien charged with child sex trafficking, is that civil or criminal?
Their charge is criminal, but their job of the immigration is a civil enforcement because their job is to get them removed out of the country. That's why the immigration officers don't get warrants from the judiciary system. They get warrants from the executive branch. That the administrative warrants, they cannot get into your house with those warrants. They cannot break into your door. And I'm gonna say my last thing. You're Somali out there. You're listening to the show, and you're a citizen.
Nah, you good. You ain't gonna do no PSA. Have a nice day. Talking about some. Yeah, I'm gonna just use this platform. Now you good. Have a nice day. Thank you for the call. All right, I got time for a couple more. Maybe let's go to. One speaker two. You're on the line. 437 on the line.
Yeah. So basically, just an idea as to what might be coming to a city, maybe not near you, but to other cities near you. And some people don't believe what I say because it has to happen to them. They have no experience. They didn't grow up around it, and it'll be new by the time it's too late. It's too late. If you live in what I guess people call a blue state, there's a financial incentive to only hire illegals or so-called refugees, or what I call economical terrorists, economical refugees. In other words, in plain simple English, to make sure that people understand, if you go for a job, or we go for a job, but then somebody from Somalia or Pakistan or India or China with an unpronounceable name meets the quota of speaking no English, as you say, and looking kind of like they're looking targeted or something, they're gonna meet those criteria, despite them knowing nothing, despite them saying you teach me, and they don't know nothing. They're going to be chosen over you, and that destroys our standards, our quality, our efficiency. And once upon a time, I was at the beach, and the people from India, which by the way, they take up the majority of the beach now because no one from the neighborhood or the city, people born and raised here, or wherever, we don't go to the beach anymore. When we go, it looks like we're in another third world country. And the thing is, they bring their habits with them. And if you invite third world, you get the third world results. Now, pack of them, they were yelling last year, "This is India. This is India. This is," and I said, "What? Where you think you are?" And they shut up on the spot. All of a sudden, they don't speak English, but they know how to say, "This is India." It's upsetting because when they get in, they push you out. They fire all people that are from our free world, and our truth, our Christianity, our economy, civil liberties and freedoms are under attack. It may not have been clear when I say these things in the past, but people are unfortunately beginning to see now. But if you're in a city where this stuff is not thick, or you're not where it's being cooked up and chalked up and on the board and plotted and such, it's going to sound crazy to you. It's kind of like hearing Alex Jones say something before 9/11, like, it's going to happen soon, and then sure enough, months later, Alex Jones was right again. It's the same type of thing. So look before one disagrees, do research, wait, take note, and see if I make sense or not. As for those who scoff in the chat section, it's because they're clueless or they're offended with their fake offense. They act offended in order to make themselves be either a superhero or a falsified victim. A lot of what they do is they make up things that don't make sense. They make up words, they misuse words like you're a racist, you're a Nazi, without even personally knowing you. It's quite stupidness. So I don't care if a Melanie Tard, who is a compulsive exaggerator or drama queen. Am I on the line? Yeah, it's still here. Am I still here?
You good? Go ahead.
I don't even think I'm here. Oh, okay. Technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Yeah. So basically, I love Donald Trump. He's right. Forget about Carney head. And it's not all of Canada. It's Carney. And God bless America. Better looking women, friendlier folks, depending on the city, of course. Better looking women, that's for sure. And God bless America, land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah, hope I didn't forget anything. Good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. All right. That might be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Maybe I'll take one more if I got time, if y'all want to do that. But if not, I'll go ahead and wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But you guys are the best. Y'all know that. If you like what you've heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And shout out to you guys for, hold on, I got to do my outro. I was kind of discombobulated. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Great show as always. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, y'all know what to do. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. Y'all know I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping them trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. I got maybe one super chat here. I'm going to read that, then wrap it on up and put the bow on top. I will see you guys again live on Saturday, per usual. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is also an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box. Or just visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All righty, I got a couple super chats here. I'll read these right quick and wrap it on up with the bow on top. Thank you to Freeman, who says, ABL, play some of them messages, the PG ones. Well, I wouldn't do that because I got to get permission. I ain't going to just try to play nobody's private message to me, you know, and because they got their voice on it and stuff like that. If it was the email, I might read it without their name. Thank you to Lothair, who says, I may disagree with other religions, but I don't go out of my way to harass people like Don Lemon. Correct. There we go. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, ever read Catcher in the Rye? If so, your thoughts? I've never read that. I think I might have been, I might have read some of that when I was real young, but I've not read that since I've been grown. So if I read it, I don't even remember at all. Maybe somebody can give me a refresher, but I don't remember that book. But I don't remember reading it, but I do know what the book is. All right, so that'll be a wrap for me. I will see you guys again live on Saturday. And shout out to you guys who were live on Instagram last night. That was a great time. I got a bunch of those clips I'm going to put out on Uncle ABL. So I think the Instagram clips to go on Uncle ABL, that'll be the short for that. You know, learn how to cook and learn how to take care of your body, learn how to not be a big back. That'll be over on Uncle ABL. I'm not going to abandon that channel at all. If you guys have any tips for Uncle ABL or this channel, you can email me, contact@anthonyblogan.com. Y'all know my email's always on the website, and y'all know not to reach out to nobody else. Okay, don't be in the comment section. Well, that's ABL right there. It just notes me. It's in that pasta. He's going to take your money. He's going to take everything from you. Don't do this. Go to the email address on the website. Do not do anything else. But that'll be a wrap for me. You guys are fantastic. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.